Oh, yeah.
And welcome, everybody. This is episode 122 of Fat Guys on a Little Podcast. I'm your co-host, Steve, and always joined by
Charles.
And we're going to have a special contest. If you can guess what's in BV's medicine cabinet behind him, you can win what's inside the cabinet. Bill, how you doing today?
I'm all right. How are you? And it's called a hutch.
I know.
Cabinet. Sure,
He keeps calling it a medicine cabinet.
It's because of those glass. The
I'm
glass.
not in the bathroom.
I know. It's just funny looking. I don't know. It just some reason it struck me funny. I can't think of where I've seen that before. I think Grandma McQuarrie's house. The thing is, they had it in the dining room area on the top.
Okay, but they used the hutch incorrectly. It has nothing to do with BV. The fact that our
they were
grandma
old.
didn't know what to
They
do
were
with
old,
the
and it
hutch.
was filled with nothing but pictures and pills.
She was a dumbass.
Pills and pictures.
BV is correct. It's a hutch.
Yeah, I
Our
know.
grandma was wrong.
Oh no, she never said it was a medicine cabinet. It just she always stored her medicine in there. That's what always threw me off.
Again, a crazy old hillbilly. Her 9mm and her guns were in there.
All right, so this week we're going to take a look at some stuff, some Big Ten, some football, and of course I don't know, something else big happened this week. Was it an election? Not sure. Hey, we might talk a little bit about that. We got a new Starburst drink coming up. Very pinky.
Got that pink drink.
Pink drink. We're going to add some cough syrup to it. We'll be good to go.
BV, did you find the pink drink anywhere?
To be honest with you, I didn't even go look for it.
He did not want the pink drink.
No, I just
pink drink.
completely forgot about it.
Michelle is big. She can never just drink plain water.
I know, that's what you're the king of mix-ins in water, and this is a mission. We got potato chips from you, 1,000 different potato chips.
Hey, I've picked up some of the alcohol too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's your weird wife's influence.
I think
we're
it
the
is.
chip and drink mixing cast.
Well,
So
people
weird.
out there want to know alternatives to drinking Diet
Yeah,
Coke
I
all the
guess
time.
so, man.
So there we go. All right, Charles. So this week we had an election, correct? Now we're not going to cover.
I'm aware of.
We're
it.
not going to cover who voted
Well, I guess
for who.
you don't got to cover whatever, but like, how was your election day procedure? Like, so
lines.
where do you go and what
I
do
go
you
to a
got going?
small elementary school in Taylor. It's right off of Pelham Road there. It's that light, so you know when you turn
It's
right
fine.
up
I
that
don't need
board.
the exact GPS
Yeah.
coordinates of
You
it. Just
turn- it's
say
a
a small elementary school by your house.
And every election up until this point, I've never had to wait. I walk
Yeah.
in, maybe one or two people in front of me. Even if I waited, it was inside the building. I went at 7 a.m.
Well, were they pushing the social distancing? Is that what made everyone creep
well,
outside? Or
it
you think
didn't
was just
look like they were
turnout?
social distance. So at 7 a.m. when I was going to go in the morning, it was out the door all the way to the end of the parking lot. Solid people, maybe a foot apart.
At 7 a.m.
At 7 a.m. I was like, oh, hell no. And I left.
Yeah.
So I went to work. And then Randy's like, well, since you didn't vote, man, maybe you leave a little early, leave at 2:30.
Oh, he gave you a couple extra lumps of coal on
Yeah,
the
I was
old,
like, all right.
on the heat for the
Yeah.
winter. That's
yeah,
so
he probably
nice
thought he
of-
bought a Trump vote.
Yeah, I was gonna say the problem is he didn't know who you were voting for.
So then I went back at 2:30. This time the line's about half that, but still outside and a foot apart from each other. So that's when I waited, and it was about 45 minutes before I finally got in the building to vote. So that
Did
was
they
my
hand
experience.
you a Sharpie marker or
They don't
like
hand
a
you
highlighter?
anything.
Or
At the
anything?
booths, there's a pen on a string.
Oh, I brought my own pen. You use communal pens at that? Ooh.
Yeah. Well, I have
got
hand
COVID.
sanitizer in the truck.
I gotta hit you with some Lysol. I can't sit across.
I'll be
you.
like a superstar. We're gonna stand outside.
Yeah, you know, Glenn you.
Damn it! So that was my experience. But,
Yeah.
Bill, what was
Yeah, what was
yours?
yours?
Well, I go to a Methodist church around the corner from my house, and there's
Separation
never a
of
line.
church and state. Why is it at a church? Wait a second.
I don't know.
Whoa,
'Cause that's
whoa,
where they have it
whoa.
at. I don't know. Yeah.
Give me that voter
But-
intimidation number.
Well, the wife and I went to go. It was about 8:00 in the morning. No line, went right in.
That's cool.
Voted in and out 10 minutes. I did not remember to bring my own pen. However, they were using
BV
individually.
didn't bring his own pen. What
I don't
year
carry
is
a pen in
this?
my pocket around
I'm in
anymore.
a mixed dimension.
Yeah, wow.
But they
That's gonna tell me he doesn't like Diet
they were
Pepsi.
giving out packaged pens.
Oh,
that
that's
they
good.
would
That's good.
then-
Sterile.
So you can unpackage it, use it, and then they would sanitize it before they actually had a sanitizer to put it into. So
That's cool. So you had no issues walking in. And then I go to the old folks' home right over here. We went later in the day. Heather had to work, and I was here with the kiddo while she had her school. But I walked right up. Heather walked right up. Not much drama. A little bit of a line as I was leaving, but I had no issues. Like I said, they gave me a Sharpie marker to fill it out. I don't know what that meant. They also asked me who I was voting for before they handed me my writing utensil, which I thought was a little weird.
Yeah, a little weird.
So anyway,
They said you get a $1,200 check if you vote for a certain guy.
it was weird.
Yeah.
And then a bus of people pulled. It was a whole thing, man.
Yeah, side note, if you want some good stories, our father did work for the city of Dearborn during this. We won't put their business out there, but
I'm
there's some
honestly
good
a little
ones.
shocked that BV. I thought you would do an absentee ballot this year, BV. No, you didn't trust. I don't trust those absentee ballots.
No, I mean, I know how to. At this point, I've learned how to navigate COVID enough to leave the house to go and do something basic and go back home. So,
that was always
it's
my take
close
on
enough.
it. Yeah.
That's one of the funniest things about Borat when he had a frying pan seeing COVID. He just smacked it. So that's what we do. We go out with a frying pan. COVID gets near you, just smack it.
But you can't see the virus.
It's right there. Right?
I hit the virus.
So there was that. And of course, we just now, this is Saturday after the election. They just now announced the winner, Joe Biden.
Well, I think that Nevada still does not go home with the record.
Well, and it doesn't matter.
One of the most unbelievable things. I don't know what is going on in Nevada.
I don't know who they are, but now we're going to have lawsuits and recounts anyways. So don't celebrate too much. You probably got another month of this before it's all over.
I guess I wanted to kind of go around the room. I think it's going to last basically up until he gets, on the 21st of January when he actually gets, like, whatever they call it, enrolled or whatever they call it. What's the term when they swear him in?
It's January 20th, right?
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, I think
I'll ask Randy when I see him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it's going to last right up until that. Now, let me ask a hypothetical situation.
Okay.
What if... what happens to our country if the courts rule that Donald Trump was hosed and the election is messed up? What happens in the United States of America?
I got to find 9mm bullets.
It is going to tear apart at the seams, son.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it already started on Facebook with the conspiracy theorists and everything.
They're getting
First
creepy.
was the black Sharpie thing. That's why Charles keeps making that crack.
Yeah.
And then there is the mail-in frauds. And then overnight, like Biden's numbers jumped 100,000 and Trump's number didn't move at all, which felt a little like 100% of the mail-in went to Biden. So they were arguing over that. But
I got to tell you, Bernie Sanders nailed that. Impressively so nailed that.
What did he say?
So he called that, like, it's going to come down to, like, Pennsylvania, and then what's going to happen is the day of votes are definitely going to skew towards Trump, but then they're going to start cracking into those mail votes, and then it's going to go into Biden. It's going to be a whole thing. He 100% nailed it on a Jimmy Fallon interview, and it was just unbelievable. And he thinks that, the mail-in votes are going to put him over the top, which is exactly what happened. But
It's
do you
really
guys... What's that, BB?
Sorry. Go ahead. No, sorry.
No, have you guys ever seen an election come down to such splitting of hairs, though, man? I've never seen it within thousands of votes. It's crazy.
It is pretty close. I mean, up until the Al Gore George Bush one was pretty close.
Yeah, but that was wasn't that the fight there was Florida?
Yeah, Florida.
This was like 4 states were like within 100 votes. It's like whoa.
Yeah. What it kind of boiled down to, and the thing with Pennsylvania, where it's not just that votes just miraculously showed up. There were certain states that their laws or their rules dictated that you count, some you count the mail-ins at a certain point, some of them you don't
some
count
before,
them until later
some
on.
after, yeah.
And it was pretty clear. All of the I was flipping back and forth a lot between CNN and Fox News. I just wanted to get both.
You were trying to be in the middle somehow.
Well, no,
you were
I
trying to be
I was actually
normal.
just trying to see how both of them were going to spin specific issues. So, but both of them were pretty clear on the fact that, you could tell like, for example, I think it was in Georgia when they were looking at it, something like 70, if it was Georgia or Pennsylvania, but maybe both, but something like 70 to 80% of the people that actually had ordered the mail-in ballots had been registered Democrats in both states. So you knew, just based upon the fact that they were registered, they were likely to vote for Biden, and that those votes were going to come in. There'd be a swing at the end, and it would just come down to whether or not Trump built up enough lead from the election day votes to be able to overcome the wave late on. And apparently he didn't have enough. So
I gotta say, it's just one thing that comes from this election, and the lawsuits and pending recounts.
Yeah, and the
Get
insanity.
one method for every state.
Yeah.
Why is it vary from state to state?
You know,
This is how you count them, and this is how you do it. And every state's got to be the same.
But
that's number one
I had
for
this
me.
exact conversation at work this morning. In fact, I'm like, that's the kooky part about our country and the weird woven tapestry of these states.
Yeah.
Because like you can smoke weed in this state, but you can't smoke weed in that state,
Yeah.
and then the governor's got. So here we are. We live kind of by the Ohio border. You could have went down to the mall as Steve did in Ohio, but you couldn't do anything here. It was just, it's such a weird country.
Let's have uniform voting rules across the whole country.
need to get
I mean, how hard can that be?
Two things to that point, though. One is that the overwhelming majority of elections that take place in the U.S. are at the state and local level, not the federal level. So what is the issue with the states having their own particular rules about how they manage the votes that come in? I don't see a problem with. The second thing is
they need
kind
to
of funny
standardize it. I'm in Steve's camp.
What's
What's wrong with standardizing it, though? Like, your argument is if 2/3 of our voting time isn't a national vote, but the problem is the 1/3 of time that it is, it become a complete shit show because for some reason we don't want to standardize it. It doesn't make any sense not to standardize it.
As long
What
as it's
pro
being
would
done
you?
under the rules that they have set in, and what I don't see a problem with. But
The point
other
is the
part of
rules
this
vary from state to state to state.
Yeah,
That's
but,
the
but
annoying.
as long as they're being followed, it's not like the rules are hidden and nobody knows what they are. The other thing,
Well,
though,
Trump
that I
didn't know
find
what half of them
interesting
were.
here is that Republicans who have historically been the ones that cry for state rights, right? State rights over
that's true.
federal control, are the same ones that are complaining about the states having the separate rules. So make up your mind.
Well, I'm not a
You want
Republican.
things
I'm
to
just
be
saying, put
you
them
want
all
things
in
to
one.
be left to
I
the states, or you want the
completely
federal
agree.
government to control everything?
I also feel like, and I think Steve's with me on this, it should never in a million years have taken as long as it did.
Yeah.
We live in 2020. Amazon can get me a box clear across the country in a day.
Yeah. Sometime in hours.
Yeah, it is. We're talking about drones are going to be delivering shit, yet I can't get an election result. Like, Nevada is still counting. Like, that is not...
How long does it take to put a man on the moon?
Dude,
Isn't it like
I'm telling
72
you.
hours?
Whoever,
If we get
however
to the
long
moon,
it is, don't have someone from Nevada on that crew. That is the most unbelievable shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know.
man.
And Michigan wasn't much better. I mean,
Yeah, but at least
And
you
that's my
are-
point.
But
So-
to the Michigan point, though, we had like what 5 million votes. Nevada's like under a mill. Dude, what the hell's going on?
yeah, or even Alaska, they had like 200,000. So what are you?
What the fuck? You got a Kodiak bear?
Yeah,
count?
I mean, you gotta count the polar bears. What the
God,
fuck's
dude,
going
it
on
was
out
so annoying.
Yeah, so
And like, and again, I think, and I'm sure you both will echo this. The problem is going forward, nothing is going to get done. The country is so fractured.
Yep.
It would take a miracle worker to put this country back together at the end of
Nothing's
this.
gonna happen.
It is literally half of this, half that. It is.
until King Rock takes over.
Yeah, dude.
Nothing's
That's the
gonna
only thing that people can get behind.
Until King Rock with Vice President Tom Hanks takes over, nothing's happening in this country.
I don't know, man. But,
So my
And
free
he brings
college is going
together
down
the
the drain.
millions.
And millions.
dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
You go to those countries that don't matter what you yeah, I'm telling you.
it'd be great.
It's crazy. So I just hope, and one of the things, like you said, can we go back to where politics? It's just it permeates everything. Right
Oh,
now.
it will when
is-
the orange Cheeto gets out. But then when he starts his own news network, it's gonna be awesome. So that's the two rumors swirling around him. So if he can't weasel his way back into the presidency, one, he's going to rerun in 4 years.
Again, what a weird thing. I
Yeah,
thought that
yeah,
you had
so-
like a term and then you had to go. I
And then
didn't
he's going
know.
to come back and try it
So
again.
they're just saying you can have 8 years no matter when you where and when you
You
serve.
can only be you can only have 2 terms in office, but they don't have to be consecutive.
Yeah, so he's coming
That's
back.
crazy.
It's going to be like fucking Darth Vader crawling out from that bird.
He's
You know,
palpatining back.
well, when Solo shot him in the time, he's going to be back. He's going to come back in a Superstar Destroyer.
So true.
And the other
man.
one is there's rumored he wants to start his own news network.
Which I don't think that's a reach at all. I think that's completely feasible.
I mean, Oprah did it, so I
yeah,
mean,
and at
the
this
Trump
point,
TV.
Yeah, I mean, DirecTV's got bills to pay. AT&T's like, okay, man, we'll take it.
Yeah,
you know.
so those are the two rumors that are swirling around him if he doesn't get weasel his way back in. So we will see. No matter who you voted for, if you went out and vote,
Do you think?
congratulations.
Let me ask the question real quick before you pivot away. Do you think his son is going to throw his hat in the ring? That annoying little puppet that he calls his son.
I think he's way less likable than him.
Yeah.
If any of his kids, it'd probably be his daughter. I mean, she's semi-likable.
Smoking hot, even though she bangs her dad. Smoking hot.
Wow, there is that. I mean, out of all of her kids, she would be the one I would assume.
Yeah.
The other two, the guy with the weird
The Eric
beard,
guy? Yeah, the weird albino one.
Eric,
is
the other
super
one. Yeah,
creepy.
no, there's no way.
What about the one girl, the one blonde-haired girl, not Ivanka, the other girl? That, like,
where they treat her like
Melissa
sloth,
or
where
whatever.
she's like locked up.
Like, you haven't seen her the whole time.
Yeah, seen her. Yeah, so no, if any kid of his, it would be Ivanka. Would be my guess.
Yeah.
You know, but
Here's
Ivanka, Stephanie McMahon, 2024.
Heather and I kind of talked about this. Trump has come out this whole time talking about how much this presidency has cost him and his family for him to be the president.
Yeah.
And now he's throwing a conniption fit that got stolen, bro. In theory, he should be like, well, off the hook I go. You know, I don't understand, man.
He's gonna have 50 million. You know, how many votes did he have? 60 million.
No, like almost 70. 'cause-
Almost 70.
So 70
They
million
both
people in this
broke
country.
the record for most votes. They beat the record. that was
Biden's
with
got
Obama
74.
That's a huge
2008,
following.
yeah. For most votes in
It's a
history.
huge following.
That's a lot of Instagram.
That's a lot of ratings on that news network.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
So I'd like to look at other things outside the presidency, some of the fun things around the country that happened. Number one, on the radio, they said this was the most bet on election, even overseas. Like people were betting, and who's the next American president? A lot of sports.
It could have went either way, man.
Yeah, a lot of sports books were taking bets on that and how many electoral votes each one would get. That was big. Now, here's a funny one, too. In North Dakota, there was a Republican candidate that won. His name is David Endall, I think it is. He died a month ago from COVID. Still won. He still
So
won.
what do they do in that scenario?
Weekend at Bernie's. They're just going to pop him up there.
The state has a rule. They treat it as if he had decided to sit down and retire. So in this case, North Dakota, the district's Republican Party appoints a representative to fill his vacant seat. So someone will cover this upcoming term, and then they'll have to, if they want to stay in from there, they'll have to get reelected.
They need a Weekend at Bernie's that.
I saw that BV, Tommy Tuberville, won down in
Oh,
Maryland.
yeah.
Yeah, former coach of Auburn. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I recognize that name. Where's the SEC on CBS here?
So and the other one I thought was funny, and there was more to this Oregon one. Oregon has legalized psychedelic mushrooms.
What is going on in
You
Oregon?
can go to one of those marijuana, what do they call them? Dispensaries. In 2 years, I guess it goes into effect 2 years from now. You can buy a baggie of mushrooms legally to go home and munch on. Also,
to go home and munch on.
whatever, you know. They
Seems
also,
like-
I'm
seems
so
like
out
hip
of touch.
Steve.
Yeah.
You go home and munch on those, right?
Yeah, you munch them? You eat them.
I think you make
assume.
ramen with them. That's the trick.
Yeah, that is. Or crush them up and snort them. I don't know
Put
what
them
to do.
into a broth.
They also reduced penalties on heroin and cocaine drug
Yeah,
charges and everything.
possessions.
So Oregon's trying to become the home of the drugs.
Well, that's the big push for Kamala or Kamal.
The wrestler?
How do you say Kamala?
It's
Kamala.
Kamala.
That's
Kamala.
how. That's the.
I like Kamala better.
I struggle with it.
I voted for Kamala.
But that's the big push with Kamala. I can't say it. Kamala.
Now who's having a Steve moment?
Yeah, no, dude. Nassau.
Fucker.
I can't even say her name. But that was her big push. She was going to get rid of a lot of these mediocre drug charges for a lot of people. So
Oh, great.
we'll see. But I don't think much is going to happen.
A
You've
lot
got
of
the
homeless
Senate
druggies going to
going.
be out there.
Senate's going one way. House is going another.
Nothing's going to happen.
Nothing's
for
going
4
to
years.
happen. And hopefully it
And I'm not even
dials
getting
back
my-
a little bit.
I'm not even going
I
to get
think
my
it's
free
a good
college. Not even get my 10 grand off.
Yeah. What do you got, BB?
I think it's good that the houses are split and they're split closely, so they're not like neither side has a big advantage on either one. So it's gonna.
You're
it's
hoping
gonna
that they have to
require-
work together? Is
Well, yeah, it's going to require them actually to work together to get anything done, and it's going to mean that they're more likely to get solutions that both sides can live with. And like you were saying earlier, like the big challenge here is how the hell do you take this
This
completely
country.
divided country and start to put it back together? And you force them to work together. I mean, maybe it's a start. Maybe it's just 4 years of gridlock, but if you try to be optimistic
If
about it, it might be
BV's a
good.
betting man, what do you think it's going to be? 4 years of what, according to BV right now? Call it.
I think there'll be a certain amount of gridlock early on, and then they will they'll finally start to recognize it, particularly because they're going to have to come together on things like COVID. Clearly, there needs to be a plan in place there. I think they'll have some issues on the economy and whatnot early on, but I think eventually they'll recognize that they need to work together. And as things start to settle down, you'll start to see things get done. Mitch McConnell, the Senate Majority Leader,
who looks like a guppy. He is the most fish-like looking individual I've ever seen. Is he the one with
the purple hands at this point? One of them has purple hands.
Purple rain? Dude.
Oh, I'm not lying. His hands are purple. Like they're going to fall off.
Guy looks like a legit guppy. I don't know where they got that guy.
You know what I'm talking about?
During the Obama presidency,
Google
he kind of rubbed
Mitch McConnell's
the wrong
hands.
way.
It's the
because
creepiest thing.
him and Biden have a history of kind of working deals, like bipartisan deals together, even during Obama's presidency, which the Republican Party weren't thrilled with.
Purple hands.
Purple hands. Well, so maybe there's an opportunity there too.
I don't know. He already came out and said that we don't need no stimulus, man. We're gonna knock it down. The jobs report came back better, so I don't know. Is Steve optimistic or pessimistic of what's going to happen in the country 4 years? Wait, well, hold on. Before we get off BV, are you optimistic or pessimistic? You sound like you're optimistic.
More optimistic than I would have been if it had gone the other way.
So give me the percentages of optimism for BV. What do you got?
60% optimistic.
Oh, okay. His hands are purple. He just showed me a guppy's purple hands. It's really weird.
I told you. His hands are going to fall off in the Senate.
Steve, where are you at? Optimism, pessimism. Give me your percentages. We
I'm
often do this.
Is meh? Is this the Steve 6? I don't think I'm going to get my $10,000 off my college credit.
So you're going pessimistic.
I just think nothing's going to happen for 4 years. Everything just
so what's your
tug of
percentage?
wars, everything. I think we're going to get a stimulus again for the COVID
half
stuff.
Of what you think it's going to be?
Yeah. We'll all get $600 instead of $1,200.
Yeah.
We'll get a little something there just to smooth
Will
everybody
Biden
over.
have to sign the checks? Yes or no?
Yeah. Well, he's going to put a picture of him and Kamala the wrestler.
Kamala can't get their name.
The Ugandan Giant's going to be on our checks.
R.I.P.
And so, but yeah, in 4 years, nothing's going to happen. And then I think after that is when the shit's going to hit the fan. So does Trump come back? Is it think it's the Vader March? And obviously, so what? Biden will be 81 by then. So I don't think he's running for a second term. So then Kamala Harris is going to run with whoever her vice president is. And then.
So you're reaching to. I need a percent of this current term for Joseph R. Biden.
50%, right in the middle.
50. That's the lamest, man.
I don't think nothing's gonna happen. So 50 is right in the middle. They're gonna tug a little here, tug a little here, tug a little here. We're not gonna get our health care. We're not gonna get the college.
Here's the one thing I think that, and this is just my take on it. The reason why I'm going to be 70% optimist is because he's going to get us back in the Paris Accord. There's going to be some green initiatives that I think are going to be bigger long term. Trump was so crazy on burning everything green. It was just the craziest shit I've ever seen. I think that he's not going to be able to get like a lot of Steve wants at college money. I don't think that's happening. But I at least think that he's going to at least be able to push some future initiatives about next generation and needing some green tech. I think that that's going to be huge.
And you'll be able to get an abortion.
Well, there's that. So BV's happy.
well, the court. I mean, the courts are still going to be what they are, though. So not necessarily.
BV's not giving you that abortion.
He doesn't control the courts.
Oh,
but
man.
It's what 6-3, conservative to liberal. So yeah.
I think you just hit on a huge point, though. The Paris Accord to me is one of the most underrated issues in the election that they really didn't spend enough time talking about.
Well, he did get some climate change towards the end. Yeah.
But yeah, getting back in the Paris Accord and kind of moving the country in that direction will be huge. If Biden can also follow through a little bit more on Obama's original promise to make real inroads on our national infrastructure too, that'd be also pretty huge. So we'll see what happens.
Now, one other question I had before we get off of politics for the day. Are we going to have a taste test of psychedelic mushrooms?
No, I'm not doing those. I'll eat a regular can of mushrooms on a pizza.
What is it, the Fleischmann mushrooms?
Yeah. I don't know about those psychedelic ones.
Only BV will do the psychedelic mushrooms and let us know when he's tripping balls.
He's currently on them. He just didn't want to tell anybody. Acid and mushrooms is Bill's thing. Me and you are going to sit here and do ecstasy. We'll be all right.
Just start feeling on each other. Weird.
Just grabbing our nipples. All right, well, we're not really a political podcast, but
You can't avoid it.
you
Right
can't avoid it. That was a huge event. So if you voted either way, good luck to you, your family, and
you
everything
might
else.
be on a bridge right now.
If Trump somehow weasels his way back in after all this, load up on ammunition because it's going to be a civil war. It'll be quite an amazing feat if he does it. So we'll see.
Extremely unlikely.
Yeah. So before we go into college, let's recap the Thursday night game because it did show up in the middle of all the election coverage, which I was surprised. I thought Fox was going to bump it to like Fox Sports 1 and still cover. Now, Thursday game was the Packers versus the 49ers. The game.
I have a definite take on this.
Okay.
Everyone is claiming that the Packers had a huge rebound game and did what they needed to do and really.
Who's claiming that?
That's the big thing. Like they were having issues.
Pat McAfee might be.
Yeah, but it's because he's got A-Rod on the show. All the time.
Yeah, he's got a kiss.
I think that the Niners are just done. Is what I think it is. They're so hurt.
Who was their quarterback? Mullins?
Yeah, I mean it's just. They needed to get this win, and I just don't. I don't think the Packers are as good as people want them to be. Is what the
They're
season
the best
is
in the
starting.
NFC North.
Yeah, but that.
And I ain't
That's
saying
not
much.
saying much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that they're being exposed for having some issues this year.
Yeah, I agree with you. But the Niners, I don't know who the hell was running. I was watching those guys. I was like, who is this guy? Who is that? They are scraping the barrel. What happened to Garofalo? Was it COVID or was he hurt?
No, he got late in the game last week. He went out with like a high ankle sprain again because he had one a few weeks back and missed a couple weeks. Kittle, I think, broke his foot and he's going to be out for a while.
Jeez.
Half their defense is hurt, for the
They're on,
year.
like,
Then they had the
fifth-string
COVID
running
scare with the
back,
running
too.
backs.
Yeah. So it's not really Green Bay rebounding. The Niners are just a trash.
People were
dumpster
saying
fire.
that Green Bay had to have a big W, and they were super stoked because Rodgers threw 4 touchdowns or something like that.
Yeah. Well, no one's playing for the Niners.
They were dominating though, and then suddenly the Niners sort of came back, and I mean it was kind of garbage time. But you think against a team that was that depleted, they'd finish the game.
Well, that's the big rub they're saying, and again, McAfee was going off on the defense is the big issue with the Green Bay Packers. Is what they keep saying. There's no skill position. Like Rodgers has no weapons, and they need some defense help.
And if you can run on them, you're screwed. They're screwed.
Yeah,
Running it, their run defense is horrible.
So, but the funny was, so that game was on Thursday, and Channel 4 and Channel 7 were still having election coverage, which nothing was changing. I don't know if you watched it any, but they're all just staring. They're all just staring at that map,
going, "What the fuck is going on in the map?"
Chris Christie was on there just babbling along. I was like, "What is this?"
I saw him. I met him.
You met Chris Christie?
He was here last Friday when Trump was speaking somewhere. He stayed at our hotel. Yeah.
Oh wow. All right, so
he
that
looks just like he does in real life.
a little chubby guy.
Yeah.
Does he look like a pallbearer?
He just looks like he just reeks of like politician.
Donald Trump.
Yeah, it's really weird. I was like, oh, okay, that's Chris Christie right there. Wow, look at that. He's a nice guy. He's he's saying hi and stuff like that to a lot of people and stuff like that. But he's a politician, boy.
Yeah, well, maybe he's trying in 4 years to try to run.
Maybe.
He screwed up New Jersey too bad, though. All right. Anyways, forget about all that. Let's go to college.
Yeah.
Today is the day that the Pac-12 came back.
And speaking of which, you got to let BV know, you got to keep an eye on that Notre Dame score. I'll kill the feed if I turn on anything here. So you got to keep serious posts.
It's just about to kick off here.
That's what I'm saying. It's getting to that time, and we'll literally kill the Facebook feed in my house.
Well, that's the big game of the day. Is Notre Dame, number 4 Notre Dame versus number 1 Clemson in Notre Dame. But before we get there, let's go to the Big Ten. And around here, the one everyone loves is, well, besides us, is Captain Khaki, but he's no longer Captain Khaki's. Michigan Wolverines took on Indiana in Indiana, and Indiana dominated them. It's
because football Jesus was in their corner, man. I told you guys. Tim Tebow.
They said the Wolverines had 17 yards rushing on 18 attempts or something like that. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. 21-38, Indiana owns.
Where was it?
It was in Indiana. They said it's the first time they lost to Indiana in 33 years.
I heard 24.
I don't know, some ridiculous number. Tebow is right. Indiana's the team to watch out for.
College football Jesus is
College
nailing
football,
it.
yeah. So I would like to see Ohio State and Indiana. I think Ohio State still pounds them.
Ohio State versus Indiana.
That's gonna be so weird.
Like that'd be 102.
Again, Wisconsin not playing, still got COVID issues. So their game against they don't postpone them; they just cancel them in the Big Ten. You don't.
Well,
make
I got
them up.
news for you. There's a lot of NFL teams. Did you see all the facilities that are closed for NFL this week?
And the fines they hand out.
Yeah, it's
Boy,
getting
Gruden
rough,
can't
man.
catch him right. He's been fined like 18
they're
times.
about
already.
Chucky bad.
Yeah,
boy.
they've busted his balls. Now, a big surprise to me was Florida kind of dominated Georgia.
Well, what you
It
got
was
a final
38 to
on that,
21
BB?
at half.
Yeah, it was 42 or 41-28 when I.
What happened, Bill?
If I could stop you real quick, Notre Dame just ran for a 75-yard touchdown on the first play of the game.
Whoa!
And just for, I was going to mention
there's
this
holding.
during the lock
Looking
of
for
the
the flag.
week thing, because it's not my lock of the week, but I did put money on Notre Dame to win this straight up at plus 175. So
Ooh,
I'm
man.
very pleased to see this.
BV's got the juice.
Yeah, Notre Dame up 7-0.
I tried to get juice
Very
for
early.
Charles last week. He's like, what the hell's wrong with you? That's what you told me. I was like, I just bet a beverage. Pittsburgh versus
Steve needed the juice.
it was
bad.
Tennessee versus Pittsburgh. I thought maybe
He was aching for
Charles
the
was
juice.
like, no. I was like, what the hell?
I need my team to lose. I need Pittsburgh to drop one so they can stop with this undefeated shit. I hate when that starts rearing its head and then like you're playing way too late in the year. Hate it.
Bill, did you get a final score on the Florida versus Georgia? I didn't get that.
It was 44-28.
Yeah,
okay.
Georgia's falling apart.
Also like to mention I did pick Florida to win the SEC East. But
Oh yeah, you did.
BB, we gotta get BB a dry erase board for behind him.
Some stickers to put on. Like, look, I picked this team here. So, and then the Pac-12's big debut, the one that they've been, I don't want to say blowing, but the team that they've said to watch out in the Pac-12 was USC.
They played at like 9 a.m. their time.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
was
really
ridiculous.
cray thing.
But they were losing most of the game to the Fighting Herm Edwards, Arizona State.
Dude, I got news, for you, man. The Herm Edwards played pretty good ball, though.
Yeah, and then they ended up beating them 28-27 in a very close game. So that was and one of the Pac-12 games was canceled because of COVID. It was California and Washington, I believe, so that was canceled. And again, Pac-12's not making up the games; they're just once they're
just
canceled,
washing
that's
them.
it. Yeah, that's good. So those were the highlight games. Anyone? Oh, Michigan State went out to Iowa, and after the big win against Michigan, they got thumped by Iowa. It was 42-7 the last time I checked.
Because they had the children.
They went to the kids. Well,
Are they able to do that in COVID? I don't know. I'm just
State's going to be
asking.
1-2. Iowa's going to be 1-2, and Michigan's going to be 1-2. But Indiana's going to be 3-0. That is weird, isn't it?
I got news. Ohio State's going to destroy everyone in that
Now,
conference.
Ohio State plays later tonight. I think
Who they
play
got?
Rutgers.
Rutgers.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Get ready for shellacking.
and they're something like 37 or 38 point favorites too.
Yeah, it's not probably going to be close.
And they'll probably cover.
But the game of the day is Clemson Notre Dame.
Game
Sure.
day was there, as you pointed out. And Corso took the Irish along with BV.
Captain Strokey took the Irish.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's awesome.
I mean, maybe. I mean, if they're going to do it, this is the time, right? It's at home.
when they're missing the QB.
And they're
of the
missing the
century,
QB.
yeah.
So 7-0 already. Notre Dame. Yeah, I mean they can do
We'll
it.
see what they got.
Yeah, you don't want to get too high. You know how many times we've gotten hyped on Notre Dame and then
Yeah,
they turn
it's
around
tough.
and get a mud hole stomped in them, and it's like, oh, they go to the next time against Alabama.
And here's the problem too: is if you turn around, you end up putting it on the. You're still going to see them in the championship game,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's not one and done for them.
They go undefeated, go get into Alabama, lose 45-12 or something. They make the national playoffs. They get stomped again by Ohio State. It's like, oh Jesus, it's so depressing. But we did pick a bad time to have the podcast. But what are you gonna do? You got to work around schedules. So that's gonna be. Any other college notes you guys want to mention? Anything else?
LSU's got a game tonight. The LSU's
Does
a
anyone care at this
But
point?
I'm just saying, like, I don't know what's going on in that program. But I'll tell you that.
That's a
I don't
total
know.
180 on that team.
Yeah.
And Bill, who's Bama have today?
Bama's off tonight.
Oh.
Did you catch that Liberty beat Virginia Tech?
No, I did not.
Liberty.
Is that insurance?
Yeah. The Limu.
That's Liberty Mutual.
Did
They only scored as what they needed.
did the golden child this year that everyone seems to be liking is the Coastal Carolina? Did they win? A lot of hype behind that team for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Coastal Carolina? I don't know.
ESPN's been promoting them a little bit. Pat McAfee's been promoting them a little bit. So I don't know.
That game starts at 7 Central, 8 Eastern. So
see, they're moving to prime time. It's Coastal Carolina. The MAC came back this week.
No one cares.
Nobody cared.
The Raisin Bowl will finally have a...
They played on Wednesday? It was weird. So a lot of games on Wednesday for the MAC.
I didn't go to Central. I don't give a shit.
My daughter might end up there.
Oh, okay. She's going to be a chip. Fire up chips.
Fire up chips. So the MAC's back. Pac-12 is back, so all the big leagues are back. I mean, college football wasn't complete till the MAC came back. So now that they did.
Now the year can count.
Yeah, now they can count everything.
All right, it's official. We have college football now.
But now, is Michigan going to let go of Jim Harbaugh now? Or
I think it's going to be a mutual parting of the ways.
Oh.
I think they're going to let him save face and walk away.
Come late December, he's going to just say, I got to find my smile again.
Yeah.
And he's going to leave.
Give me some BS press release that says,
he's not going to get a fake injury like Urban Meyer does. I got heart murmurs. I got to go.
Heart attack watch. Yeah.
What is BV's thought on Harbaugh's tenure?
Well, I think that the way that he was brought in, it was going to be they either move up to the absolute top of the college football world or it's a failure. So that's clearly not happening here. And he's doing the old, he's sort of like Michigan's version of John Cooper, right? You just can't seem to beat the rivals. And historically that means you got to go. So I think it would be surprising if he stuck around after this year.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he'd want to stick around after this year.
And my thing is, that expectation is a little high, but they should have at least been to the Big Ten championship once in this past 6 years, right?
You got a monster in their conference, though, Steve.
I mean,
they came and win the division with Ohio State.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You got to pop them once out of 6 years. And,
it's not 1980 anymore. It's just not. But that's the problem with like a U of M. And you could make the argument that our squad struggled with it for a lot of years and is finally starting to do it right and starting to compete nationally in a modern game.
Yeah, because they're cheating. I just hope my team cheats right.
I don't know. Apparently, U of M is not cheating correctly.
No, they're not. Harbaugh got to learn to cheat.
And I just love when Paul Feinbaum lights it. I can't get enough of that guy. God, he
hates Harbaugh.
Destroys him.
Oh,
it is great to watch. And I normally don't like that dude. SEC slappy all day. But, man, when he gets going on the Wolverines, I tune right in. Let me click on this clip.
Yeah. I know. He looks like Jay Bartlett with his bald head.
He's a kooky-looking gentleman.
Well, I mean, this really makes all those shenanigans that the Harbaugh did when he first got. Remember the Rome trips and the acting in rap videos and all the craziness and all the shit he was doing, sleeping in tree houses.
Have you seen that terrible Nick Saban commercial with Affleck?
Oh my God!
You don't need to be a personality. You just got to put a product on the field.
Yeah,
that's what it boils down to. I mean, no one gives a shit about your personality if you win.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so let's look at the college and the Thursday night game. Tomorrow we got a big game. Bills Seahawks, BV squad going up against the Seahawks. A big
Where
one.
at?
That's in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So that should be a very interesting.
If the
one.
Bills are to right the ship, they got to make a game of it at least. I mean, you might lose to some Russell Wilson antics at the end. If Bills roll over for Seattle again, someone's got to declare their big run, their big comeback rather, is to be kind of false.
Also, like Ravens at the Colts. That should be a good game. I think that might be pretty interesting to watch. Bill likes the shitball team game of Atlanta at Denver for some reason. We were talking about it earlier in the week. Some of the games he might bet on.
Atlanta would win the game. It's not a game I plan to watch.
He's gonna watch every minute with popcorn.
Please.
He's gonna be like the Michael Jackson meme.
Your Falcons are terrible.
Oh, they're terrible. Because he was talking to me about the Falcons. I go, I don't think they can emotionally handle 2 wins in a row.
I'm telling you, your Falcons are a trade. Now they're gonna win themselves out of a good pay.
Yeah.
Garbage.
Or they'll win enough so they'll keep the interim head coach that'll suck next year. So that'll be Sunday, and Bill's going to go a little bit more in depth later on his picks, so we'll talk a little more about that later. So Charles coming up now. We got a drink beverage because Charles loves these.
I mean, Steve loves a mixing Crystal Lights and all this stuff. It's because of his wife, dude. It's his wife.
Well, she already tried this and she loves it. So give me the box. I'll promote the box while you pour it.
You're on live at the camera one.
So actually, in all truth and honesty, I was looking for the Planters Peanuts Natty Ice flavored peanuts, but they did not have them because they're only exclusive to Walmart. It seems like all the new crazy stuff only comes out at Walmart. No other place.
Oh, it's
gets
only the
it.
biggest retailer on the
Yeah,
planet.
I know, but nobody
Did
else
you
gets.
say Natty Ice peanuts?
Yes, yeah, they flavored the nuts like Natty Ice. So how bad is that going to be? So I had to get those, but unfortunately,
I'll give you the rest of the bottle here.
didn't have it. So this is Starburst all pink strawberry drink mix. Now,
You got to critique initially. So you'd assume that if you bought this box, you would have the packs. Steve's bouncing cameras here.
Oh, sorry.
You'd assume that it would have the packs that you just throw into a water bottle.
right.
Steve comes over with a shaker bottle. I'm like, why not just bring the packs? Steve goes, well, that's because they go into a gallon pitcher.
Yes,
I was like,
you can't do individual drinks, which isn't very portable. So you have to make a whole gallon.
you
So I
gotta
had
make a big thing of Kool-Aid.
So I had to find an old pitcher at the house and make a thing. Now it's sugar free. I don't know about the other. Bill, are those other flavors that pitcher you found there?
Yeah, I think this is a listing of all their flavors.
So it's only 5 calories, but it has
You got fruit punch, cherry. It looks like all of the flavors, but you got a blue raspberry, which isn't a normal Starburst.
the
flavor.
only one they had at Walmart I saw was this pink one. I didn't see any of those other flavors because I would have grabbed orange. I like being orange.
You like orange?
Yeah,
Oh,
I imagine that would
Cherry.
taste like Tang.
I'm cherry. BV's right.
I'm an orange
BV's
guy. So no sugar, so that's good, but it does have
BV's usually all about the pink, but today
aspartame is in
It's
it.
Well, I mean, doesn't mean I'm anti-pink.
I gotta tell you, it's got a pretty good flavor to it.
Sweeter than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, it's got. I wouldn't know that this were sugar free. I'm gonna tell you this right now. So Starburst somehow something changed at Starburst corporate. I didn't get the emails. I'm a stockholder. I didn't get no info. But they've been pimping the Starburst name to yogurts. We've had the yogurts on the show. Bergeron that time.
Yep.
Starburst has been kicking their flavors, like these harsh flavors that Starburst
And those
punchy
weird
flavor.
commercials with the fighter pilots and the dog eats them.
That's a really tasty beverage, though. I don't know.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
It's almost like a Kool-Aid it tastes like.
Yeah, you wouldn't know this was sugar free.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I give this a huge thumbs up. Yeah. That's
What
not
was the
bad.
other mixing we had?
I don't know. We've had so many.
Because that was terrible. But this one's not bad.
Well, the G Fuel one you gave me was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, G Fuel. That was sugar free also.
but I'd take this over the G Fuel.
Now, the G Fuel, you could just use 1 cup. You didn't have to have a whole gallon.
dude, I know.
I'm not sure why you need a whole gallon.
Why you got to make a picture of this?
Yeah, I know.
They don't sell the bottle. Maybe you didn't see them or something. I don't know. Because like Crystal Lights and everything, they're in the little containers.
Yeah,
you just put
this
in
was,
there.
they had a big shelf because these are brand new. It said it right on
I
there. It
gotta
says
tell
new.
you, what did you pay for that?
It was $6.
But
But
if it makes 8
8
gallons,
gallons of drink for
it's not bad if it
$6.
makes 8 gallons.
So, I mean,
And I gotta tell you, the flavor on this is really good.
yeah, I'm quite surprised.
Yeah, it's really tasty.
I thought it was going to taste like just really bad watered down Kool-Aid.
Yeah, it doesn't have like those like vitamin water taste to them
Oh,
or
those
nothing
are terrible.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really
Bill,
quite,
do you like flavored waters of any type, or
like those
Yeah,
weird?
I drink a fair amount of Crystal Light and occasionally some other stuff.
I gotta tell you, if I saw this
Well,
in the store, I'd buy this.
I
This
still got
tastes-
3/4 of a gallon of this at home, so
It's got major chunks.
I'll leave you one of these packs. So you
Yeah,
and
I do.
Heather
I
can
think
try
it's
it.
pretty good. I think it's a really good taste.
Now I really want to try the orange. If I can find the orange, I'm going to look for it.
yeah, I'd give
Go
it
on
a huge
Amazon.
thumbs up.
I'll get it there.
I'd suggest for you, B. He's chugging, taking it straight to the
Sugar
head.
free. Now, see, I don't like the large containers. I like the individual packs.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow, that's the only downside.
Hey, can you do a little research while we're talking about this, BV? Can you see if Amazon sells the individual packs, or again, if it's a Walmart exclusive or whatever? It just doesn't. That's the one thing that the product tastes good. They nailed the product, but
Yeah.
why you can't get it in like something a little more convenient than gallon chugs? I don't understand.
I don't know. So how much stevia did they pound in this thing?
I don't know,
What-
man. But
what
I gotta tell you, there's a lot.
I don't know what
So,
kind of flavored sugar.
Thanks to you, BV, and this whole diabetic movement that we've been on. I got to tell you, something about
Diabetes Nation.
I'm telling you, thanks to America's diabetes, they're really doing a great job with these weird random sweeteners. I don't know
Yeah.
what is going on, what changed in that industry, but like Mountain Dew Zero's delicious. You saw me. I love Coke Zero's delicious. It's pure chemicals, people, but it's good tasting chemicals. I don't know what they're doing.
And back in the 80s, diet food was terrible.
Yeah, that shit in the pink, it was terrible.
Even Diet Coke and Diet Pepsi was terrible tasting in the 80s. And they've come a long way.
It's really good, man. I don't know. They got the chemical mix just right on that shit. That tastes really good. Surprisingly enough, dude.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
That was a quite delicious thing.
Big thumbs up from both of us.
What do you got, BV?
You can get the singles to go. It's in various. You can get some that are individual. It's like just a pack of 6. Some of them are like a 12-pack of the boxes. Different ones. I'm not seeing a lot of the orange though. It seems like it's mostly.
Son of a bitch.
The orange may be the hard one to find.
Who wants yellow though?
Yeah, no one likes the yellow Starburst.
Yeah,
the yellow Starburst is always the worst.
And who wants a drink based on the yellow Starburst?
Dude, I'm telling
That
you,
is
man.
terrible.
I am shocked by how tasty that actually kind of was.
Yeah, that was pretty
What
good.
What is the pink flavor?
It says strawberry.
Is that what
Strawberry.
pink?
Yeah,
Okay,
it says
Yeah.
So red is cherry, pink is strawberry. Strawberry drink mix says right there.
top notch, man. Good job. And so far, this is our second Starburst product, and they've both been great. I've personally had the Starburst fruit roll-ups too that are really good.
I have not eaten the Starburst yogurt since the day you gave it, but that one was loaded with sugar, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was not sugar-free.
They didn't dodge the sugar on that one.
Tasted good though.
Yeah,
Remember
yeah.
that shit?
And now G Fuel, that stuff we had and you tasted, that's way more expensive. So like,
You popped for that just because you're like, oh, I want a little energy drink in the morning or something.
Like that little packet I gave you, it was a 3-pack, cost $6.95. And that only made
that makes 8.
This makes 8 gallons for the same price.
That's a top notch.
Go with the Starburst. Forget the G Fuel.
Wow, man.
But G Fuel's supposed to give you energy.
I always
don't
enjoyed
know.
that. It was, and I think of that one hot sauce that Bergeron randomly gave you.
That was good.
really quite good.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing that's always fun on this little adventure that we do here with the taste test and stuff is when something kind of just like shocks you how kind of tasty something is, and that's one of the shockers. I think that was really good.
It's almost like as shocking as Mitch McConnell's purple hands.
Dude, Steve's wound up with the purple.
I was closing the tab and saw him again. It's like creepy hands. His hands are gonna fall
All right,
off.
now everyone calm down. Steve's got to discuss Banshee season 4.
Yes, it's over
because
I finished it. There's only 8 episodes. This last
great.
season.
I'm sure there was a ton of people waiting for the last season's review.
They pulled out all the tropes, just like Breaking Bad. All of a sudden, white supremacists came in, Nazi groups. Then there was a Satan cult worshiping group that came in. Nice. So it just went over the top bananas for the last season. No one really died. It just ended. I was like, I don't know if they thought maybe they're going to do another one. But Banshee season 4 on the Cinemax. Like I said, it started off at about a 7 and went down a point every season after.
Do you still have the app? Are you paying for it?
It's gone shortly. Right, I did not cancel it yesterday when I finished the last episode. I got hiccups now.
This is the Starburst. Ooh, that's because you chugged that Starburst.
Yeah, no, I should not have chugged it.
Yeah.
So I would not recommend getting the Cinemax app just to watch this.
Is there anything else on the Cinemax app? Maybe you're not even watching, but you're like, oh, okay, that's on here.
There's one show. It looks like a CIA and the MI6 combined to help take down terrorists.
What's even the name of it?
I forgot the name of it, but it's 7 seasons on there.
Jeez.
But I never heard of it, so I don't know.
What is like the big Cinemax show? Is Dexter a Cinemax show? Or
no,
Showtime?
that's Showtime. There is no big,
Showtime.
Banshee was the big Cinemax show.
Oh my god!
There is no other big
Darn.
Cinemax show. So, and they have a lot of movies on there. You know, a lot of movies you've seen at VHS, but nothing to scream about. It's definitely not worth $10 a month. I only paid the $10 to find. I mean, I got my money's worth. I watched 4 seasons of this damn show. After the first season, I was regretting it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it's one of those we committed. We got to finish it.
I'll talk about that here in a little bit.
So now we're out of shows. So I don't know what I'm going to go on to next. If Charles highly recommends Succession, maybe, but by that face, I'm going to say no. So I'll keep an eye out for other shows, but right now, in a drought. But that's okay, because this is the time of year where new video games come out.
Okay, first of all, you need to temper expectations, anyone who might be listening. This is when, like, the 3 games that are going to come out this season are going to come out.
Yeah, pretty much. And they're all coming out in the same week.
Everything else has been delayed.
Call of Duty,
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, and there's a third one. I can't think of the name of it.
It's not Cyberpunk anymore.
It's not Cyberpunk anymore, but there's a third game. All 3 of them come out on like the 12th.
Okay.
All 3 of them.
And then that's
Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
Yeah.
So
That's your
Spider-Man,
season.
Assassin's Creed.
So
So I got to stretch it out week per week is what I'm gonna have to do instead of doing all three at once. So, but the first up that came out this week is Watch Dogs.
this is
Legion.
an Ubisoft release.
Ubisoft.
This is a hacking game where
Yes,
you're
this-
recruiting people.
This is the third one in the series.
Okay. Is this an offshoot game? Is this a core series game? Is this a continuation of what you would assume?
Watch
the
Dogs is
other
a little different from Assassin's Creed, where Assassin's Creed, if you play Assassin's Creed 1, Assassin's Creed 2 is a little bit of continuation from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Watch Dogs, it's all basically the same concept, but different stories each time. So the first story...
different city settings?
Different stories. So the first one was in Chicago. And essentially, the story in all of them are the same thing. It's like an OCP from RoboCop takes over the security of a major city and has drones and all kinds of shit. But they're
It's a very tech forward way of securing a city.
yeah, and they all have nefarious motives behind the scenes. And so you're part of it's called DSEC, DESEC, and in the first two, you're just one character, and you and your group of guys are trying to take down the evil corporation that's controlling the city. Essentially, what it is.
But you again, the core mechanic of the
It's
Watch
hacking.
Dogs series is I see a drone, I hack a drone, I do
Yes.
all these things, and that's how. It's not an action forward game, right? It's
Nah,
more
it can
of
be.
a
Well,
recruiting slash.
That's the nice thing about the game. You can play it how you want to play it.
Oh.
You can go in, you can hack stuff and never be seen. You can go in, just do stealth and sneak around and hack stuff, or you can go in guns a blazing. So it's like you got
Just pick your poison.
pick your poison. What I tend to do, I try the hacking
Yeah,
stuff.
until it
After a
blows
while-
off, and then you go screw it.
Yeah, and then I just go
all
full
right.
Rambo and start
Yeah,
shooting people in the head. And in the older games, you didn't have non-lethal weapons, so when you shot someone, they died. And this one,
Yeah, like rubber bolts and tasers and stuff.
yeah,
like
you
that.
got like taser guns and stuff, so you're not.
Are you
killing
hiding
anybody.
bodies and stuff like that?
You
too?
can, yeah. Well, there's an upgrade. You can get
You
hit
cloak 'em?
You cloak them so the cameras can't see their body laying there and stuff like that.
Because again, we're in a surveillance state. That's the whole premise
yeah,
of it.
yeah.
How do I always find Ubisoft games to graphically to be okay to maybe a little nice, but never that mind-boggling because they have to put them out for so many platforms.
Yeah,
They don't really showcase them.
The first
What's
two,
the graphics?
The first two that you nailed it on the head. This one's a little bit better than okay because you're in London. So one, that's cool. It's a totally different. The first one was Chicago. Second one, I believe, was like a New York. I might be wrong on that, but it was another big city.
Nonetheless,
U.S. This one's London, futuristic London, where they got like self-propelled cars and stuff and stuff. So it looks good. It looks better than the average Watchdog. The city, the characters, on the other hand, they really took them and mixed them up, and you really wanted like very trendy. Like if I'm a 40-year-old guy designing a game, what I think a 20-year-old transgender fluid guy would look like.
A lot of the weird trench
feels
coats
almost-
and weird
yeah.
beanie caps
Yeah,
on
yes,
everyone.
a ton of that.
Yeah.
They all got like Amish beards and no
Yeah,
mustaches.
yeah,
One's an Indian dude, one's a white dude, one's a
I
black
smell
dude.
like a lot of like Timberlands and skinny
Oh yeah, a lot of
jeans.
tats, a lot of dreads. So it's a lot of that, and it feels like the
And the worst
characters.
one is like an Ubisoft Montreal who did this. So
Yeah,
it's like
yes.
a weird Canadian 40-year-old guy. Like, oh,
Yeah, this is what's trendy with the hackers, eh?
Jacques told you it was
yeah.
gonna be.
He watched a documentary on Seattle and decided to make them. The characters feel more like they're all just a bunch of people from The Sims. This is what it feels like. So the gist of this one, which is different from the other two, you don't have a main character. You can start when you start the game. You got like 6 people to pick
It's a
from.
crew thing, right?
Yeah, it's a crew. So you pick one of the guys from the 6 or girl, whatever, and then you start with her or him, and then as you go through the game, you can recruit other people. Now, the one thing that annoys me that they didn't show in the trailer, when you recruit someone, you automatically got them. In this, when you go
You
to
got to work on them a little
yes,
bit. You
you
got
gotta-
wine and dine. A
Yes,
little
you got to
bit?
work on them and then go do a mission for them. Like, oh, my brother needs meds, and
So you got to show. You got to approve or.
Yes.
Oh my lord.
so
then that flushes out a 30-hour game to 40. 'cause
yeah,
you're
so I
running
recruited the
around.
5 people I needed. You need a doctor because when your guy gets hurt or
You need a
dies, he goes to the
construction
hospital.
guy
You
or
needed a
some-
construction guy for a construction
I'm
site.
like a
You needed a-
Montreal game developer.
You needed a guy that works for the evil corporation, so you can sneak into areas with his uniform on.
All right.
So I got my 5 guys, and I never recruited again. I'm like, I'm done
Yeah.
recruiting. Another thing, there's not much fast travel, so it's like go here and then drive all the way on the other side of London to go here. It's like,
Are you hacking the self-autonomous cars to get
yeah,
yourself
or you
across
can
the
get,
town?
or you can do old school GTA, just jack cars,
okay.
motorcycles, shit. It's a motorcycle because it's quicker.
So, but there's no biomechanics to any of this?
What do you
so,
mean?
what I'm saying is, like, you can't steal a weapon or a car because it's biomechanically attached to someone.
No,
then you
have this most awesome hacking cell phone that does everything. All you do is hit triangle.
You have a T-Mobile sidekick.
Yeah,
that you
I don't know
can-
what version of Apple iPhone this guy has, but you just walk up to a car, hit a button, and everything
oh my
unlocks.
God, amazing.
So it's the most awesome iPhone you've ever seen. The problem is with all open world games, the missions get very repetitive. You go here, you hack one server, but then 6 hours in, you're hacking another server.
You basically show up, hit square
You're,
on it. Yeah.
you're sneaking around, you're knocking some dudes out. Then they got a little spider thing, so certain stage you got to crawl through the vent.
Yeah.
And get to the
lock
server.
a door, unlock a door.
There's not a lot of variety,
Yeah.
so it's a lot. So because of that, it's like, okay.
It sounds like a basic Ubisoft game.
Yeah, it is. But I like London. London looks nice, and I much prefer just having. When you start the game, they give you an MI6 guy. You look like a James Bond-like guy. Well, oh, that's pretty cool. I like this guy. He gets killed the first 30 seconds. So then you're recruiting people who look like grandmas and stuff. So I applaud them for trying something different with the crew and stuff like that. And I like the London and the futuristic stuff, but it's a 7. If it's on sale
Do
somewhere.
you get the upgrade path if you buy it on a PS4, for example? Do
Yeah,
you get
Ubi has come out and said that. If you buy
you
this
get the
gen, you can upgrade
path.
for free.
Okay, that's cool.
They're one of the few that's doing it. Like NBA, on the other hand, you got to just buy the new one. They're
You
not
need the new
upgrading.
sweat tech.
Yeah, you got to see that. You got to see Zion Williams sweat properly.
The sweat tech.
You can't have the old one. So it kind of falls in the lump. Now, see, Assassin's Creed I put blinders on because I love the theme and
It's
stuff.
not that good.
When that Viking one comes out, I'm gonna give it way higher than it should be just because it's Vikings. I know I'm going to. I already know it, and I'm gonna enjoy it a lot more. Where this is, I'm trendy hipsters running around hacking stuff. I lose interest kind of quick. So, but if you catch it on stuff like $20, you're getting a lot of time, money in it. I mean, you're getting a lot of time out of it. But 7 is as high as I'll go on that one. And Charles, you were desperate for a new show as much as I will be next week.
Yeah.
What did you watch?
So there was a lot of award buzz attached to this show, and it's 2 seasons in. That's on HBOMax. It's an HBO show. It's called Succession.
This kind of looks like a show Bill might enjoy.
And that's what I was going to ask. BV, have you had any inklings of checking this out at all?
I didn't know it existed until
Okay.
I looked at the show
So
notes.
let me discuss it because it does probably check a handful of BV boxes. So basically, the old guy who you've seen in a million movies, I don't know his name. He's my corner bug this week. You've seen him. He plays a bad guy. He plays a good guy.
a villain and everything.
Yes, he is
Brian something.
Sure. So Brian is.
I can't think of his
Brian
name.
Cox.
Yep, that's it.
So he plays a media mogul that owns like what would be like an NBC Universal. And they have
Or a Fox News.
not even a Fox News, bigger than that. So it's like it's that big. So they have like theme parks and all this kind of stuff. Like it's crazy with the amount of like I said, like reach that they have. And basically, the show takes place. He does a Trump move of appointing his family. So, like, his one son who used to have a drug problem is going to be the CEO in waiting underneath him. Then there's a Culkin brother who's going to be the COO underneath him. And then there's another daughter who's involved in politics who has a husband who works for the park side of what they do. And basically, this is like 6 of the shittiest people you'll ever know in your life. They are, you root for none of them. They're all vile human beings, and they literally are just trying to one up and screw over the dad and screw over each other to get ahead in this company. It sounds pretty. BV's probably like, okay, I'm kind of into it a little bit. If you have any kind of like, how inner workings of major corporations work, and that sounds kind of interesting. It just falls so flat because the one son who's supposed to be the CEO in training or whatever is just a shitty like dude, and you're not into him at all. It just I can't describe. So then like the Brian Cox characters, we just learned his name. He is like a vile human being too, who stepped on a bunch of throats to get to where he is with his corporation. So then the other son is trying to like move things forward. Then there's the Culkin brother, who's like the snarky son. Do you know how there's always that one rich snarky son who, like, at one point they're playing like a family baseball game and they need to bring one of the housekeeper's sons to fill out a team. He says, if you hit this, I'll give you $1 million. And he writes him a check for $1 million. And of course, the kid doesn't get a home run. So then he rips up the check in front of the kid. It's just it is one of these shows that gets anointed at an award season that you're just like, what are you people seeing here? So like this is just awful. So the Brian Cox character has like a stroke early on in the first season. So, of course, that sends everyone into a tailspin of who's going to do what and all this kind of stuff. This show, I much like Steve said with Banshee, I'm already through the first season. I'm probably going to watch the second season because, to Steve's point, we're in a bit of a TV drought. It's a hard drought that we're dealing with right now. I think we're finally hitting that COVID issue. There's not much on. It's hard for me to recommend it. It's hard for me, and I love HBO shows. We've kind of talked at length. This is a Steve 6. This is the epitome of Steve's 6 and everything. It's just, and again, I think that someone like a BV who can get into like the inner workings of a corporation, because it seems very knowledgeable. It's written from someone who knows a lot of how corporations are structured and all this kind of stuff. But then that adding of the family element to it is just, they're all just the shittiest people. They're all just vile people. I don't know. BV, you interested at all after I kind of described it to you in the slightest?
Well, honestly, the family portion of it's what turns me off to it, because if it had been like this corporate, greed, espionage, people that are jockeying for position in a corporation that weren't just their spoiled frickin' kids, it probably would have been more interesting. I don't know. I mean, I don't have a whole lot to watch either, so maybe I give it a shot, but it doesn't sound like something I'm super excited. Not real excited about.
It does have moments of piqued interest, like when, again, the one Brian Cox character has a stroke. You see how quickly a corporation can go into like fail-safe mode and like how they start to like. That was kind of interesting, but it's all wrapped around this one son who's still a shithead. So you're like, I don't know.
Seems like you're having the same problem I had later on with Shameless. It's like none of the people are likable. But Shameless was a comedy, so it's still, at least you had something to laugh at. So they don't even have the comedy angle. They're just
the
dicks.
only thing I would say, and like I already touched on, is like that's kind of can like get interesting is just understanding like stock price and how big stock price drives things, and understanding how they structure these major corporate loans and all that kind of stuff. That stuff I can get kind of like okay, but then to BV's point, as soon as you wrap it around back to the Trump family, I'm like. Okay,
now,
man.
Let me run you by this. You just gave me an idea. What if it was a show, and the father was like Vince McMahon, and it's behind the scenes of like wrestling, and you got
that's a good one to look at. It's
them trying to.
It is kind of structured like the McMahon family, because you know how his family's very entrenched in that business, and then so you could see a lot. It's basically.
I think I'd watch that show though. If it was about McMahon.
Yeah, I think if you put the wrestling angle, you and BV are definitely in.
I
think, but if you took those two families, if you took the McMahon family and the Trump family, smashed them together, you'd have this family.
Is that what it is?
And that's kind of a good way to look. I didn't even think of the McMahon family, of course, until Steve talks about it, and then he brings up the McMahon family.
I immediately thought of that. I don't know.
So
I want to see that show. Not Succession.
That show doesn't exist.
I want to see where they're.
You can't just write your own show.
I want to see where they're trying to push McMahon out the door to take over.
It's very similar.
I'd want to see that.
This is a 6. I'm bummed that it got so much award hype, but then again, we talked about Schitt's Creek, kind of how you were like, well, what is this?
Yeah.
And you watch it and you start to realize that they just look for like a new darling show that they just kind of go on.
Have you seen any of Schitt's Creek?
No, I really don't even know what it's about.
I saw 2 episodes. They were a rich family that ended up slumming for some reason. Like they ended up losing all their money, or Bertie Madoff kind of screwed them all over, so they had to move to like a blue collar kind of.
They're up Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, they're up Schitt's Creek, and then the whole time the kids are like, "Oh my god, there's no."
So these bougie rich kids that are stuck in like a rural area.
And the first episode, they start in a rundown motel, and it's like, I was like, this ain't funny.
You realize that like Eugene Levy's only good in like the American Pie movies. And
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
really.
that.
Or when he was with John Candy in 1988 in some of
Yeah.
his movies. Other than that, I don't get it. So Succession.
Succession is
the
a
award.
6 is the point, and it's.
Now
like I
I'm
said,
interested
we're
to see
into
if it goes
we're
up
into
or
a
down
low.
in the second season.
Yeah, because it's the neat part, and again, it's got moments, and I'm like, okay, so like the dad, because he eventually fired. They call for like a vote of no confidence in the dad, and then try to get the board to kick him out and stuff like. Which again, I think happens in real corporations. I'm sure BV can attest to that.
Yeah, that's Papa John's.
Exactly. Yeah, you drop an N-bomb and then they vote your ass out.
Yeah, you gotta go.
This is Papa. No, I don't give a shit. You gotta go, Papa.
Yeah.
It's yeah. So at some point, like later on, he figures out through like his PR people that he's gonna like have like a family like counseling session, but he wants like reporters there to like take shots of it and stuff like that. You could see like a nefarious businessman like trying to shoehorn in an opportunity and stuff. So there's things that are, like I said, are just no one on the show's likable, and you hate everyone. It's a weird dynamic.
I want to see the Vince McMahon show now. I'm going to make that. Bill, any shows you got coming up that you're going to be watching? Because we're all running thin here. I mean, you see our
Not that
review
I
section.
can think of.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't stay on top of it the way that you guys do. So.
Well, I'll have to just watch football.
Did you keep on your Mandalorian adventure?
I'm not caught up with you yet, but I did finish season 1.
Oh, so he's right there. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
right
What,
there.
and what are your
It's,
final thoughts on season 1?
Dude, it's great. I just wish Charles had freaking sold it. No, it's good stuff. It's starting to make a little bit more sense now. At the point where they're someone that knows kind of what it is.
How'd you like Gus Fring showing up at the end with that?
Well,
and
I'm just flat out. Gustavo Fring to me is the greatest villain in any TV show ever. Love it. So I like the fact that he will be playing a part apparently will be playing a part in season 2. So.
Yeah. They really established that Baby Yoda loves like eggs and small creatures to eat. They really
he's eating everything.
He's eating everything. Motherfucker's always hungry.
Like he's eating a frog, so frog eggs. He's like, oh shit,
I know. So and a spider egg, you just ate that too.
Shit, I don't give a shit.
So-
Gotta grow, man. I'm growing.
But I'm very shocked Bill is into the Mandalorian, so that's cool. Did not. Bill, before we go into the most exciting part of the podcast, which is Steve's Innovation Quarter, is there an update on the score of Notre Dame Clemson?
There is. First quarter just ended, just beginning of second quarter. Notre Dame 10, Clemson 7. Notre Dame stuffed Clemson, and then their second drive got stopped. Their drive got stopped inside the 5, and they kicked a field goal. Clemson hit a big touchdown pass to make it 10-7, and now Notre Dame is right on the cusp of the red zone here, right? Driving again.
Well, at least you're not rolling over and taking in the ass. That's always good.
Yeah, but
First and goal, 10 for Notre Dame with just started the second quarter.
hard and fast rule, BB. You got to just jump in with any kind of scoring changes. Don't even.
I
if
was
we're in
going
the
to do
middle
that,
of-
but I was trying to wait
No,
until the end of.
Just literally tells us shut the fuck up. and tell
Yeah,
us what
just
the
ignore
score is.
what we're saying and interrupt us.
Just jump
Roger
in.
that.
All right. Now, Charles, you like nostalgia as much as I do, and we always yell about nostalgia balls and stuff like that. Now, as you know, DuckTales was redone on originally it was on Disney XD on regular cable, and Bobby Moynihan, I don't want to screw up his name. He's one of the voices, and the voice cast is pretty good. Kamala, Baba Moynihan. So season one,
Nassau.
my only complaint about season 1 that was on Disney XD is it didn't have a steady schedule. It was all over the place. Like there'd be a new episode on Sunday, and then 2 weeks from the next, it'd be on a Wednesday. And my DVR would catch it sometimes, but not all the time. So, but with it moving to Disney Plus, they put the whole first season on so you can watch it. And now they're on to the second season, but they're still doing the once a week thing. But there's something missing about this new DuckTales, and I don't know what it is.
You're old.
Number one, I'm old. That is true.
Yeah, I mean, why
Yeah.
can't you just accept the fact you might not want something?
I know they had to tweak the animation to make it new.
I don't like it either. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's that because
I feel like it wasn't
so the
broken.
original old DuckTales was true Disney artistry and all that kind of. It fit into the universe.
Yeah,
and all
you
that
could
kind
put
of
it
stuff.
into a movie.
That's that weird. So you and BV are high on that Phineas and Ferb show, but this is that weird influence of that new modern animation where everyone's got like weird squared off fingers.
Everything's
and
blocky. I was about to say blocky.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, and I feel like the '90s Disney shows were more not as stream. This all feels streamlined. Like they want to animate quickly, so they make the characters blocky, and even like Huey, Dewey, and Louie, like some of their jaws are blocky. You can see it in their head instead of circular.
I haven't watched this reboot, but I definitely know the aesthetic.
Yeah, and it's not a bad show. It's entertaining, but it's just not as good as the original. And some of that is I'm 45 and I need to let it go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But this week they did reintroduce Darkwing
Okay,
Duck.
I gotta tell you. So I saw your note on it. The problem is Darkwing Duck was not a good character. In the first
he was
one.
a Batman ripoff.
Yeah, like he was a lame, stupid offshoot character that didn't deserve his own plot line.
Well, in this one, they used him to make a movie based on Darkwing Duck. They're actually just making a gritty
So
movie
meta,
to make money.
wow.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. But the new DuckTales, like I said, there's just something missing. And I don't know what it is. It's probably because I'm 45 and looking at it. That's probably the number one thing. But the animation is not. Why does the animation look better in the 90s than it does now? Makes no sense. Especially on Disney Plus.
To your point, there's got to be there's a rhyme to that reason. I think there's influence of how the world kind of went, and then to your point, it might be a speed thing. It might be what they can generate on computers.
Yeah, they can animate it quicker.
There's got to be something to it.
Yeah, and it's kind of a bummer because I feel like the '90s version took a little more time and because
it fit into that Disney aesthetic.
Yeah, like if you watched The Lion King in the '90s, that type of animation,
you could have plunked the whole DuckTales crew into the Lion King movie, and vice versa.
Yeah,
completely agree.
They had the same animation across movies and TV. Where now, well, the movies are mostly CG movies, but the animation on the TV doesn't look anything like it should. It's a little bit of a bummer. It's not a bad show, and if your kids have never watched the original, they just watch this new one, they'll probably enjoy it. They still do the crazy adventures every week and stuff like that. So, it's a Steve Six, unfortunately. Nostalgia.
Is it only on Disney Plus now?
I don't know if it's still on Disney XD. I don't know if it does it both. I don't even know if Disney XD still exists. Is it still a cable station? I don't know. And what the hell they play on it, I don't know. I just go to Disney Plus. Both seasons are up on Disney Plus, so you can watch them if you want to catch up. And the best thing about it is the original is still on Disney Plus, so
you can
could
see
always
the
go
differences
back.
in the animation me and you were talking about.
Yeah, you really can see it right there. So me being Charles and I, well, more me, but Charles also a little bit of an animation snobs. Kind of look at that.
The original DuckTales is it's single-handedly one of my top 5 ever favorite cartoons.
Oh yeah,
it's just that amazing to me.
Batman animated
it
series,
reminds me
DuckTales.
of my youth like you wouldn't believe, and it always will.
Very underrated one was Gargoyles. That was a pretty good show.
That's not that good.
Oh well, back then I don't know. I probably should watch it now. With new eyes,
not that good.
It's probably terrible. But in the defense of Phineas and Ferb though,
That show's terrible.
But
Lorna discovered it. It's terrible.
But that's not based on an older animation, so their bad animation is just how it is.
That show is not funny. You and BV, I don't know how BV randomly stumbled upon that show.
I watched a lot of it because of Holly.
Lorna started watching it, and I was like, well, BV liked this, so I got to see what's going on. Boy, oh boy, BV, this is not the Michael Jordan doc. This is terrible. It is no redeeming quality. It's not funny. The platypus thing has nothing to do with what's going on over here. And then like the sister is annoying. I'm like, that show is god awful. I am shocked at BV, and I might be in the minority. I don't get it. Not for me.
It has the same beats every episode, you know. I like the platypus and the crazy doctor that are always doing stupid shit. But other than that, I wouldn't go on my way to watch it. I did watch the movie that came out on there. But Bill, any retort on that?
First, shut the fuck up. Notre Dame kicks a field goal. They're up 13-7.
Ooh, I hate when they have to
However, that's the second time now in the first half that they've been stopped inside the 10 and had to kick a field goal. In this last drive, 3rd and goal from the 10, tight end drops a pass at the goal line. This wasn't an easy pass to catch, but he did get his hands on it and dropped it. So 13-7, 13 minutes to go in the second. The retort is just, I don't know exactly why I like it, and I didn't go out of my way to watch it either. It was one of those things that just sort of accidentally stumbled upon. Abby watched it, and we check it out a little bit, and I was more interested in the. I think with Steve there, I enjoy the Perry the Platypus and Dr. Doofenshmirtz back and forth more than the actual Phineas and Ferb part. And there are some they find a way to put some kind of funny pieces to the other characters as well. Phineas and Ferb are like the least entertaining part of the show.
I'll tell you this right now, I like it better than Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty's a tough watch. Me and you both did that. We were like, what am I missing on this one?
There's only one episode of Rick and
That
Morty I
show was
liked, and that's when it became the pickle.
Yeah.
Other than that, the rest of that show was bad.
What is going on?
I don't
in
get
that
the Rick
show?
and Morty shit at all.
Yeah.
The one I want to like more than I do is Archer. It's like I've watched like a first scene of that. It's
I
just
probably
like,
watched too much of that.
And
where
it's
I'm
like-
why? I love old boy that plays Bob Burger's voice.
Yeah.
I love him.
it's just some reason that show's not as good as it should be. Have you seen Archer, Bill?
I like Archer.
Oh,
I like
you've
Archer.
seen it? Yeah, it's like a goofy James Bond
I'm
type
with
thing.
Steve. I don't get it. And
Yeah.
like I said, I've oddly seen quite a bit of it.
Yeah,
I'm
I've
like,
watched
why
a
am I
lot of
watching
it,
this?
at least the whole first season.
Yeah.
And I don't mind the animation in it. It's kind of neat looking.
No, it's a better.
Yeah, so but yeah, Rick and Morty I don't get. All right, so that's a look at our animation. And now this week, we always said we're going to have this reoccurring when one of us goes to a new restaurant. Now, this isn't a brand new restaurant to me. I've been there 5 or 6 years ago. But I just want to put it on there because Charles and I have an unnatural love for Japanese steakhouses.
Tapanaki. I love Tapanaki grills. Anytime they're going
Is that what they're technically called?
they're called a Tapanaki
Okay.
grill, where they sit you down and cook in front of your ass, and I
Yes.
love it.
Yes.
And they coat the world in garlic butter.
Garlic butter and salt. Bill, are you a big Japanese steakhouse fan?
I don't go to them very often, but I do like them. Yes.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I'm only once every couple of years I go, and then when I go, why don't I go to these more? I really enjoy this. But then I get the bill and I go, oh yeah, now I remember why.
Dude. We got that one right. We got the Benihana. Right down the
I've been
street.
there. Yeah, it's usually the one I'm about to talk about is Miyako. I think
How are you saying this name? Miyako.
Miyako, I think. Japanese steakhouse and sushi. This is in the Great Lakes Crossing Mall. It's been there for years. I went there about 8 years ago for one of my birthdays, and that's when I first learned that Holly hates his food because she was a little 4-year-old just like, not touching it, but we didn't really order her anything. But me and Michelle love them. Wow, I like them. Michelle and I should say.
How are they doing the social distancing / COVID protocols?
Okay, first, there's no menus. You have to QR scan a thing at the table when you get there.
Oh.
They only put you and your other person on one side of the table, and then they put 3 other people on the other side of the table, which is about 6 foot
So they
apart.
keep like the one
And
side.
then no one in the middle. Yeah, yeah. So that's how they do that.
How busy was it?
We were there at about 12:30, so it must have been their lunch for us. We had 5 at our table. There was 4 at the table next to us, 6 at that table, and then one other table about 4. So that's not bad for that type of place, right? And they don't do a lunch menu now. It's all straight dinner. So it wasn't a cheap lunch. It was about $23 a dinner. So
Do you get like the chicken / steak one together? That's what I always get. I get the chicken / steak all the time.
yes, I get the combination. It's exactly what I got. Michelle just got the chicken.
It's called a Rocky Special at
Yeah.
Benihana.
And they give you that weird little salad with the brown sauce
I
on
love
it.
that shit. Sesame dressing, ginger sesame dressing.
It was good. And then
you
the
know,
soup was kind of pointless. That was
you know who loves that is your niece.
She
Your
loves the
niece,
soup?
Mona loves
just, it's
the soup.
literally just broth.
Yeah,
Not much.
she can't get enough of it.
Was it miso or?
No, it's
Yeah.
not. It's like an umami type thing. I don't know.
It
if
tastes
it's
like
miso.
wonton soup, but with none of the stuff in it.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It's just like a little bit of chunks of green onion and like one little piece of mushroom is all that was in it. I was like,
'cause unlike Holly, Lorna gets down.
that
with
broth
the
is good, but
Benihana.
it's like I wish there was some soup in the soup, you know. But
There's usually like a floating mushroom.
yeah, that's what it was.
yeah.
But I'm not knocking it, whatever. And then the guy comes out. He comes out with the tray. He starts with the rice, and
And then they go around. For you, number 14. And then
Yeah.
they confirm everyone.
and then they make the volcano, and then they turn it into a little train.
Shit, I'm a sucker for that shit.
They
I love
spin
it.
the egg around on the thing.
Yeah, fucking love all that.
The one that kept telling me is, "Oh, you look hungry. You look hungry. Give me
Damn
extra
right.
food."
Hook it up,
I was like, "You hungry? Yeah, it's
Damn
like,
right.
so
I get extra fried
for being
rice
fat,
and
I got
damn
extra food. It was I finally the fat tax paid off. I was like,
man,
yes.
I get the zucchini shit. I get all it.
yeah,
I give
yeah.
a shit.
The one lady, I think it was the mom and the two girls across the way. She didn't want any of the vegetables. She's just like steak and rice. That's all I want. That's all she ate too. Michelle, we both like it. So I highly recommend it if you love those places.
But to your point, it's somewhere you go nice because you take your special lady friend out or something like that.
I told Michelle
you
I
don't
wanted to
go there on a
weeks
whim because you went,
maybe a birthday
it's a
or
little pricey.
Yeah. And I don't drink when I go out. As far as alcohol, I just get a Diet Pepsi. It's like $2 or whatever. So yeah, it was probably about $54 for the two of us. But
all right.
I can't. I love the place. I love eating those places. I don't get the appetizer. Dad surprisingly gets the appetizers when he goes to those kind of places. Yeah, he got the little. They were like deep fried and like a flaky.
I want everything off that goddamn grill. Give me it off that grill.
Funny note is,
coat that shit in that garlic butter.
I don't like shrimp, but I'll eat shrimp there because
it's shit. Yeah,
it's good there. So thumbs up. I think it's the Miyako Japanese Steakhouse and Sushi. It's been there for years. It's right next to the what's that one? It's the Jungle. The restaurant, the
Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah, it's right next to the Rainforest Cafe.
BV, do you eat at these kind of places? You eat at Tabanaki restaurants at all?
When I get a chance, yeah. Another thing I've been up until COVID, what I've been doing, had been doing recently as well is ramen restaurants. I love ramen
restaurants. Johnny Noodle King will have to go next time you're here, and down by the Ambassador Bridge. Delicious.
I don't think I've ever had a ramen restaurant.
It's good.
Is that like that place we went to in Ann Arbor?
No. It's a little different. Johnny Noodle King is a legit ramen restaurant. Yeah, it's delicious.
Do you guys do sushi or no?
I do sushi. Crunchy roll.
Yeah. I've become a big fan of sushi.
Give me that shit.
Year or two.
Crunch.
Steve, you gotta open your mind. We ate goddamn octopus that time, dude.
Oh hell no!
I didn't like it.
No one said you had to like it. You gotta try it.
I've tried sushi. I don't like it.
You gotta be freaking. Sorry, shut. This is okay. So I recognize this is an important time in our country, but these fuckers just preempted the game to go to the Biden-Harris victory speech.
Oh.
Now I have to go find streaming USA to catch the game.
Oh wow!
And Clemson was driving, so it's 4th and 5. So I guess they're probably going to kick a field goal. But
so we got 13-10 possibly coming up.
Oh, okay. No, they came back. They're kicking the field goal now. 13-10. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Oh man.
It's weird because Clemson can't run the ball at all. Notre Dame's stuffing it like crazy, but
that's their big weapon is ATN, right?
Yeah. The freshman quarterback is just flinging it up and down the field on him.
He's dime piecing.
So there you go. The new restaurant, Miyako Japanese Steakhouse. Charles and I both. Benihana, the same deal.
Yep.
Love them.
Tabanaki is.
They're 8 out of 10 for me. You probably knock down a little bit because I don't like. They got a sushi bar and I don't care. And the prices are a little expensive, but there you go. So there won't be too many new restaurants because of COVID. We're about to all get locked down anyway. So I had to go somewhere before it gets locked down. So Bill, all right, let's go to your picks of the week and recap last week's. And I wrote that up there. I don't know. I don't remember your pick from last week, but I'm pretty sure that was.
Well,
right.
yeah. So last week when we did the show, because we did it on Sunday, my original pick of the week, it was the Chiefs laying a certain amount, pretty significant amount of points they did cover. I decided to add another game, which was the Eagles laying 10 to the Cowboys. They did win. I think the final score was 23-9, so did get the win there.
It started off 3-0, no Cowboys. Bill texted me. He was like, seriously?
Yeah. So now 5.
What'd you clear? What'd you clear on that? What'd you get?
That was 10 to win $19.10. And my, just for the sake of calculation, I am now up 1560 on the year.
Oh, baby.
So working through.
Almost got that free Benihana money. Look at BV go.
Yeah, there you go. Successful week. So this week was not a particularly stellar week for lines. In fact, Steve and I were talking
full
earlier.
Disclosure, I looked with him earlier in the week.
Yeah, a lot of
some hard lines.
The one I would have loved to have picked was a Thursday night game, but since I tried to do something that's going to be played after the show, I am going to a game that should be, I think, a good game. I'm liking the line seems a little bit high. This would be the New Orleans Saints. They are playing at Tampa on Sunday night, and they are getting 4.5 points. I do not necessarily expect the Saints to win outright, although they did beat Tampa in Week 1. Tampa is coming off of a short week. I mean, you saw the Monday night game against the Giants where they kind of barely had to squeak out a win.
Yeah, they struggled.
Brady was, really bad. I mean, they had to
if
pull it
there's
out
one
in the
team
end.
Brady has trouble with, it's for some reason the goddamn Giants. I don't get it at all.
Manning's no longer there.
He still
He got
struggled against
banged
this
up pretty good
Giants.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, a Daniel Jones Giants without a whole lot of weapons on either side. And so the Saints look like they're going to have their full complement of weapons back. It looks like Michael Thomas is finally going to be on the field this week. It's another Tampa's kind of a good matchup for their offense. Todd Bowles, defensive coordinator for Tampa Bay, loves to blitz from all different kinds of angles. Breeze handles the blitz really well. It's looking at a stat earlier today. Since the beginning of 2019, he is second only to Pat Mahomes in passer rating when blitzed. And kind of looking at the success that Daniel Jones had against that defense last week, I think that it's reasonable that Breeze should have a pretty good game. So I am taking the Saints with the 4.5 points at Tampa on Sunday night. Another $10 bet as I'm doing across the board here, which would win another $19.10 at minus 110.
I got one question for you, Mr. Bill. I got to pull up my
Sure.
under Donald Henson. You might have said it. I didn't catch it. Is Michael Thomas playing?
He said he's getting his weapons back.
He's expected to be on the field. So
Until he gets a mystery injury before the game starts again? Anyway, okay.
You never know. Or he kicks some guy's ass in practice and they bench him or something.
Yeah, something weird. Michael Thomas is not happy with them right now. I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up getting
trade
traded.
deadline passed though, so he's not going anywhere. So you figure he probably wants to get on the field so he can
up his stock to get traded next year.
Maybe.
So we do it every week. Steve, give me the percentages of agreement with BV. Saints getting 4.5.
If you get the
Tampa
same
Bay
Tampa Bay you got last week against the Giants, which baffled the shit out of me why the game was so close, then I like Bill's pick. Michael Thomas being back is good, but Saints are kind of bad outside that dome sometimes.
And Breeze has lost a step.
But I'm 70% confident in Bill's pick.
Here's why you couldn't be more wrong.
All right.
Oh, no, here we go.
I am 95% agreeing with BV because the Bucs signed goddamn locker room cancer in Antonio Brown.
Oh, so I'm not wrong. You're just more right.
Yeah, I'm more right. You are never going to win with that cancer.
I thought you were going to go with the clownfish thing again.
No, the symbiotic relationship.
He apparently was very right about that. I mean, that team's a dumpster fire right now.
Wow.
You got
playing the
Belichick
Jets.
even making excuses.
Yeah, about the salary cap.
And he's doing
Yeah.
Subway commercials. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, dude, it's brutal. So I'm only going that because I got to shit on Antonio Brown. He is a problem. Get that guy away from your team as fast as you can. So that's why I say take the Saints. But again, Drew Brees has got issues right now. I don't know what's going on. That man's arm is dying. I don't know what's going on right there.
Yeah, he's ready for the booth.
I wouldn't be picking him to win outright, but I like the 4.5 points. I think it should be a close enough game.
21-24, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, if the Giants can stay within two of them, I think the Saints can. So, all right, there's the cold lock of the week. And like I said, I was going over them with Bill. There were some tough ones. I mean, like, the Patriots are giving 7 to the Jets. And you're like, wow, the Patriots should cover that. But then the Patriots are a train wreck, and then the Jets.
The Jets are awful.
It's
Jets
That
are
line's up to 9 now, too. So.
Oh, yeah. See, so that's a hard one. So there were some hard ones. I was looking at it with him. I'm like, fuck, I'm glad I'm not picking. Lions, I think, are giving 4.
You need to shut the fuck up. So Clemson just tried to pitch a ball to a running back that bounced off of his shoulder pads and right into the hands of a defender who ran it into the end zone. Notre Dame 19-10 with the extra point pending.
All right.
It's a pretty funny play. Literally, it was just a little toss.
Was it to ATN or whatever his name is?
Yeah, ATN. It bounced off his hands, and there was whoever number 6 is. Looks like a linebacker that was basically going to blow the play up because
He was
Clemson
right
hasn't been
there
able to
with
run the
him.
ball at all.
Yeah.
Bounced off his hands and right into the defender's hands, and he just ran it into the end zone.
Does it make me a bad Notre Dame fan that I don't know all the positions and the names?
No.
I mean,
They change every few years. It's tough.
yeah, I know. So, some guys are like, I mean, I know Ian Book. I know
That's
the guy
when people
runs it.
start talking to me about like recruiting classes. I immediately glaze over when you hit me with recruiting classes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wait till the shit's on the
I know
field.
Bill knows all the players on Alabama. I'm always
I don't
bad.
know all of them. No.
Yeah,
I
but
don't.
it's like, or like Gabe will start talking about Michigan. He'll be naming like 4-string guys. I'm like, I don't fucking know.
That's because he's listening to Harbaugh's picks of the week and shit like that.
This is Jeremiah Owasu Koromoa.
Oh, well,
in the-
yeah, I remember.
Told you, Steve.
Yeah. So an extra point, I think was good. Or they're reviewing.
They're reviewing the extra point?
Oh,
They're probably
he's
seeing the
over.
direction.
Okay.
Oh, they're reviewing the touchdown to see if his knee was down before the ball had crossed.
Oh.
So it's either going to be 19-10 or the extra point, or it's going to be first and goal inside the 1. It looks good to me, but
All right. So Notre Dame hanging in there. So that's good. So now we're going to some reviews. You got one, I got one. Now a couple weeks ago I talked about the if you flood camera, and I went outside of my house fine. I had a junction box, everything went fine. So I'll come to find out on the front of my house I don't have a junction box, so I didn't
Just
put
wires, raw
wires. So I would have to drill into the siding and do all this stuff. So I just took that one back. I was like, and what I did, I bought, these were on sale because Best Buy's turning into Gardner White where they have a Black Friday sale every day. So they
Did
had
they pay your sales tax?
yeah. So they have this. This is a KASA Spot. All it is a little camera. It's an indoor camera. It's not an outdoor. But for $25, right? I had 2 little micro SD cards I had from old cell phones. Put one in each, 32 gigs. And I did it real simple. Put it on my windowsill. That's all I did. And one in the back. So the back one's great. It sits in the back bedroom's window. I see the whole backyard. And if anything goes off, these are motion detection. And the picture's fine.
You don't get a glare issue through the
To the back, no. The front, sometimes.
Yeah.
It depends on where the sun's at.
Yeah, watch that glare.
Yeah, but I mean, I showed you the video with the squirrel shaking her ass at Daisy.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Bill, I had a Looney Tunes video the first day. We have a black squirrel that just torments Daisy, and I got video of it. It literally put its ass on the window and shook it in front of Daisy. Like, are you kicking this bitch? And it took off. So that was pretty funny. So for $20, I know this is the ghetto solution. I should probably go out and get a $200 Ring doorbell, or go get actually drill into my siding and put up a. $20 to just put it in my windowsill is good enough for me. I'm not that worried.
My only issue, and I talked to you about it a little bit earlier, a day or two ago, is you got two different apps, 2 different companies.
Yeah.
That's my only issue.
is
The only thing I would have said is you probably should have went with the Eufy equivalent, just so you have all 3 cameras, one app.
That's the problem. The Eufy equivalent is like $95.
I get you. I get you. But I'm just saying, like, that's my only.
Yeah, probably.
If I were to critique what you did, it's not. If you're happy with the image, that's cool. I'm just saying, like, you'd hate to go. Hold on, I got to check the front camera. Hold on, I got to check the side camera.
But if I get one of those Google ones with the screen, you know what I'm talking about?
A Nest Hub or something.
Yeah,
like
Nest
that?
Hub or something like that. Both the KASA and a Eufy, the cameras can connect to that. And all I would have to say is, okay, Google, show me front door. And it doesn't matter what company has
Will
it.
it pull up your recorded stuff on that? Because, for example, the Amazon shows that I have will show my Wise cameras, but I can't review, I guess is what I'm
That I
trying
don't
to
know
say.
yet because I don't have
look
one
up
of the,
that part of the review.
that I'll have to find. But I know I can check the cameras right there.
Yeah,
without
live,
without-
real time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so at least I could do that without having to wear it. I have it all on my iPad because I don't want my phone blowing up with motion detection alarms.
Well, I know, but sometimes, so we've had to like scrub back and stuff like that. It can be cumbersome. You just don't want a bunch of apps to have to chase stuff.
that's true.
Would be my
Well,
only
right
thing.
now I have 3 smart apps, right? I got the Philips Hue, I have the KASA, and then I have the Eufy. Those are only 3 I have running.
Well,
through
but
my
your
house.
Philips Hue is just your bulbs.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
KASA one, actually, I have light switches at house, so it's the same as the KASA. So they're called Top Link or whatever, TP Link.
TP Link is who makes all my wire, my
Yeah,
net,
so
my net.
It's not too bad. I got 3. It's not, and like Google Home pulls them all in, so that's the one app you can just use. I don't know how Amazon does it, but the Google Home.
Well, that's
app,
everything. So my smart things links, it's a whole thing. We'll talk about my Amazon stuff here in a second.
Gabe and them were busting my ass the other day because it's like I was talking to them about it, and they crack up every time I tell, okay, Google, turn off fan or something. And Gabe's like, you swear to God you have like a 5,000 square foot house? He goes, I've been to your house. All you gotta do is lean over and turn the fan off. I go, it's not the point, Gabe.
It's the future.
I gotta talk to the fan. All right. The only thing I always find funny, I don't know if you do this, but in the morning, sometimes, I don't know if I'm slurring or something, but okay, Google, turn on Game Light. Game Light is my game room. Sometimes it just doesn't hear me. Like I say it like 4 times. I'm like, Google, you bitch! I start yelling at Michelle. Be laughing from the bedroom. I was like, I don't know. But.
One of the things I've noticed with at least with the Echo products and stuff like that is as they've gone on, that speech recognition tech. So I have multiple generations of Alexas in my house. Mm-hmm. The newest generation's definitely clearer than like the previous ones. So they've improved that.
I gotta start upgrading a little bit.
Yeah,
my Google Home in the living room. That's where I want to put the screen one in. I've probably had that 5 or 6 years now,
which is great.
It's one of the first generations.
It'll do it, but you'll notice, like I said, I've got a brand new Alexa in the garage. Picks me up like crazy. Yeah. Go to them older ones. I'm a little bit like, you gotta enunciate a little clearer.
Well, you gave me that new one, so I'm gonna replace one of my old ones with that new one. See how that works.
So that you have a generation before the one I handed you, or something like that.
So the Google Home in the living room is old. It's probably 5 years, and then the ones in the bedroom are probably 2-3 years old.
Oh, okay.
So. And it's still working good. They all work good, except sometimes I got to yell at it in the morning.
That's the problem.
And some of it might be me just groggy and slurring my words, but
you'll be shocked. I guarantee you're going to see a difference. And they work on that recognition, I think, a little bit better. And like I said, the Echo products are right in line with that. The newer ones are a little clearer.
Bill, any desire for some smart home stuff? Or
I have some smart home stuff. I have a Ring doorbell. I think we're going to add some cameras to that. The Ring cameras. I have a number. I think we have 3 or 4 different things with Alexa in the house now. So,
yeah, I got to make sure all my cameras work before the Civil War breaks out when Trump gets back in presidency. I got to make sure I have video of everybody.
Before you move on, just to update you, so they did uphold the touchdown, so it's 20-10. Shortly after, Clemson gets a catch fumble. Notre Dame now has the ball inside the 25 again.
What's with the turnovers, man? Dabo, you got to tighten that up, baby.
Oh, man. All right, Charles. Now, what did you buy new this week?
Yeah, so in line with talking about how I'm obsessed with Alexas and everything, and I'll show it to my camera here. They had them on sale really cheap. These are the Echo Buds. They're the AirPod equivalent for the Amazon products. And at their core, they're pretty
Do you
much
mind if I shove one in my ear?
Well, I have the medium ones. Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we've had a conversation with. So they're basically just their equivalent. They charge from the case. The case, a lot of people reviewed said the case is too big. I don't find that to be an issue. I mean, obviously it's bigger than an AirPod case, but it's not a big deal. Now, one of the things I'll tell you from your perspective, Steve, there is on the new AirPods as well as the Alexa ones. What?
Someone's talking. It's like a podcast going on.
It's probably you turned on my phone. As soon as you plug it in, it recognizes my phone and immediately kicks on. But it also does that move, too, that when you take it off, it'll automatically pause, just like an AirPod. Mm-hmm. They're not doing anything revolutionary that an AirPod doesn't do. But you got to think.
Make sure getting
that's fine. They're $80. They're not $150 or $200 that some of those AirPod products can be. And the biggest thing for me is, and again, they've got the Alexa built into them. I have my whole house, and we can go on and on for hours with me if you want to go into what I have automated in this house. But you can have the Alexa directly in. So I was at work with my Echo Pods or Buds in. I was able to drop into my living room Alexa and ask Heather a question through my Echo Buds, as long as you're online and stuff like that. And all my automations work, all my stuff. And they also have Amazon got with Bose to make their noise canceling with them. So when you plug them in, you can do the noise cancellation. The other thing that's cool, too, just like the AirPods, you can run a test to make sure you got a good fit in your ear. In the app, And to pair these with that app, all I had to do was literally open it up and then have my app open, and it paired them immediately. So for $80, I mean, I am super happy with them.
That's a good price because the official Google one's like $200.
Yeah, and that's kind of my issue. I didn't realize how much until I bought the iPhone SE, as we talked about on the show here. There's no headphone jack on them, and one of the things that's annoying is, and that's I guess why we talked about why people don't have wired headphones, because you can't. And I guess that's kind of one of those things. But I caught them on sale; they're still on sale. I can't recommend these highly enough. I love them. I get 5 hours.
Now they only work with Amazon, not Google.
You can change the assistant that it goes with. So I pick the Alexa, but you can have Siri, you can have Google, you can have whoever.
Even though it's made by Amazon, they're letting you
Correct.
do that.
You can pick.
I'm very shocked on that.
Yeah.
Well, that means they probably sell more that way.
Yeah, probably. They're just again. They're nothing. They're just basically Bluetooth headphones. They're nothing crazy, but I think the addition of the assistant stuff is huge. Now, if you read a lot of the reviews, the one thing that people were pissy about is you got to plug them in. There's no contact-free charging, so you can't put them. And I'm like, it's kind of like you said with the Quest and the Facebook rub, where everyone's knocking it down because of Facebook. How hard is it to plug in a cable, people? I don't understand.
Besides, you got a million of them around your house for all your phones anyways.
Yeah, I don't. Well, my phone does do the contact charging, which I admit is nice, but I don't know. It's not a deal breaker for me. Maybe it is for some people. I guess some people have issues with. Another thing that you see on a lot of reviews is people bitching about the sound quality. I don't know what kind of ears.
When I heard of those guys talking, it sounded good to me.
I don't know what kind of ears people got. It's crazy. So, big fan of the Amazon Echo Buds, and especially if you can catch them on sale right now, $80.
Yeah,
I would assume they're probably blowing them out because they're going to probably release a new version.
Because my daughter was obsessed with the AirPods. I will tell you right now, those were she has first generation, so it was $170 for those. I think they're around $200 at this point.
For like the current
The
gen.
Google one I was kind of interested in because it has Google Translate built into it. So you can start speaking Spanish and it'll translate in my ear.
That's a super cool piece
That's
of tech.
super cool. But again, they're $200. They don't sell them in stores and you had to get on a wait list. So I was like, never mind on that one. So I'm not sure what phones it works with. Bill, are you a fan of earbuds or not really?
I like them, but the problem that I have with them is that I'm not able to usually it's tough for me to get ones, and I'm not really familiar with them well enough to for different sizes and stuff to fit or whatever. But the ones that I have had tend not to stay in, and so I've tended to go just over the.
That's what I was going to bring up next. So I put that in my ear. It was only a couple seconds or whatever. But as I moved my head around, as you saw my fat jowls moving around, it didn't pop out. Where Holly's AirPod, when I tried it when she first got it, I had about 20 seconds before I think slid on my ear.
Well, and I'll tell you this.
And there was no ends like yours. Yours has an ends.
And they came with 3 sizes.
Yeah, AirPods don't have that.
Yeah, it's just they are what they are, the plastic piece and everything.
It's annoying.
So I'm really high on it, and it's been one of those things I bought for $80 and kind of like just I need some headphones and again, I love Alexa, Amazon. I know she's spying on me. I don't give a shit, people. Call the NSA all day long. I don't care. I love my Alexas. Can't get enough of them.
Well, people are pissed off for contact tracing now. So,
what does that mean? Oh, with the COVID stuff.
Which I ran into that today.
Yeah. What's that?
I went to the arcade. The arcade had a guy sitting there with like a sign-in sheet when you went in. Steve Markey, Holly's phone number. But the places are now, and Bert and Randy are just like pissed off about it and stuff
then
like that.
don't go in.
Yeah,
it's the same argument BV said it a while ago. It's not infringing on your rights. You have a choice not to go in. Don't go in.
Yeah. Before you move on, 23-10.
Ooh,
Notre Dame.
Wish those field goals were touchdowns.
Yeah.
A team like Clemson, you can't take 3s. You got to take 7s.
Yeah, well, this one, they got the turnover and then immediately got a personal foul, so they were right off the bat 1st and 25. So they got back into field goal range, and now Clemson's about a minute and a half to go. They're driving. So
yeah, it's funny because you bought those. I'm falling in a little bit of an earbud rabbit hole with the VR. I wanted to find earbuds that will work, won't work. But those wireless ones, what they say with the VR headsets, there's lag on them.
Oh yeah, that would annoy you because then you're not synced up and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. And some things are like noise, So that's kind of shitty. So I had to
Well,
find
and
wired
as
ones.
BV can attest, as he kind of struggled with some syncing of Bluetooth stuff last week, I was amazed by how easy these were to do. I mean, literally, I just took them, had my Alexa app open on that phone, opened it up, and the Alexa app said, "Oh, here's your new iPod or your new Echo Buds." I keep calling them. I'm sorry, getting my branding incorrect, but yeah, and it immediately paired and took off, and it was really cool.
All right, so there you go. I got a little camera staring at a squirrel's ass, and Charles has got some earbuds to listen to his exciting podcast.
Yeah. Oh.
I was waiting to hear some thumping music. Just two dudes talking. What is this?
That's always what it is. When I get out of the car, I want to be able to continue on, especially as I ride a bus from the lot in. I want to be able to listen to it. And I'm like,
the podcast have been skipping. I don't know if he's still doing it. Mike Valenti was doing a podcast.
I'd stop because he also's got a ton of commercials on it.
Oh, he does? Never mind. Jim Rome has one too, but I don't know.
Oh, Jim Rome's got one?
Yeah, he's got a podcast.
I can't turn off the McAfee show.
Yeah, no. The three of us are hands down.
McAfee.
McAfee to
So
replace
good.
Ellen.
Why does Ellen still have a job?
Yeah.
By
That
the
guy
way,
was wearing that fucking
23-13
Arby's roast
now.
beef sweatshirt.
What do you got, BB?
23-13. They held Clemson to the field goal. So just over a minute to go in the first half. 23-13 Notre Dame.
All right, let's wrap this up. We're approaching 2 hours, and we're losing Clemson time.
All right, so again, COVID time, so I really had to struggle for finding things to watch. This week, we got, first up, Holidate. This looks like a terrible romance. Should be on
Jennifer
the Hallmark
Garner and who? Who else is in there?
No, Jennifer Garner's getting too old for these movies now, so they replaced her. On Netflix, Holidate. I'm a big no, Charles.
It sounds terrible. Lori Laughlin's in jail, so she's not in it. I don't know who's in this. I'm a no.
And Bill?
Is that Aaron
I'm
Eckhart
finding
over BB's shoulder? That's
What?
Aaron Eckhart in that movie, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really finding it harder and harder to justify the Netflix subscription.
He's
price.
putting a dagger in his.
This is rough.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, literally the list I was looking at was terrible. Next up, and FX has been promoting the hell out of this, called A Teacher. This is essentially a teacher bangs her student.
Yeah, I saw this.
I've heard enough of this in the real news. I'm a no, Charles.
I still stood fast. I'm not entirely sure how a teacher can rape a young boy, but I don't know. I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not into it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, your dick shouldn't work if he's not into it. Right?
Yeah,
I don't know. So I'm a no.
Bill?
Yeah, I don't need to see some play on the Mary Kay Letourneau story again. No thanks.
Wow, you pulled the name out. That was pretty good. Next is Killing Eve, season 3. My wife was a huge fan of the show. I actually rented the season 3 for her.
The Asian girl?
Yeah, she was on Grey's Anatomy.
Margaret Cho? No, that's
she's
the
a-
comedian.
Yeah, Margaret, yes.
Sandra Oh.
Yeah, Sandra Oh. She's a USCI agent that goes over to England to help out, and then they're chasing this Russian assassin girl. It's about all I know about it. My wife loved it. I watched half an episode and I was out. So I'm a no, Charles.
I know you often talk how she's into it. It just rings no for me, so I'm a no.
Another awards darling. They love giving a lot of awards to this one, too.
Yeah, they love her.
Yeah,
I'd
they
say.
do. And Bill?
Yeah, I'm with you guys on this. It's not doing it for me.
Yeah. Didn't Heather say she was watching?
She can check it out, I think. Yeah.
She can watch all 3 seasons now. So this one always cracks me up because I don't know who likes this. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 2020 inductions. I don't know who's going in. I know the show is like 5 hours long and HBO replays it all year long. I did watch the one with Bon Jovi where Howard Stern went up there to introduce him, and then I turned it off. So I'm a no on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction of 2020, Charles.
I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I realized I'm not that into music. Is what it was on to. I'm a no.
Was there a podcast section of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I don't know. We beeline through that so quickly. It was like $60 I'll never get back.
BV?
Yeah, these shows, I used to try to watch them, but just watching groups try to do these, it's either people that are usually way past it that are kind of trying to bring up their hits and play them, or they're some sort of, they get a group of people together to do, covers of someone's, old song. And then whether it's even watchable, it all depends on who's being inducted. This one doesn't look, I looked up the class. It's Depeche Mode. First of all, Depeche Mode in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's weird.
Okay, the Doobie Brothers, Whitney Houston, Nine Inch Nails, Notorious B.I.G., T-Rex, the old group, and Ahmet Erdogan Award honorees, John Landau and Irving Azoff. The only people there that I would have any real interest in seeing perform are dead. So, no. And I don't know. I mean, I can't see where they're going to have Trent Reznor do, like, reprise some old Biggie song or something. No.
And seriously, they need an editor for this show because it's like 4 or 5 hours. It's ridiculously long.
Was it going to be all zoomed, I wonder?
That's a good question.
Maybe might have to check it out just to see how they do it.
Yeah,
How are they doing award shows? Is it a lot of zooming and stuff like that? Like a lot
or
of
on location? Like I know the
like at Universal Studios.
Yeah, like
so
they have one central location where like Jimmy Kimmel is.
Yeah,
and then they go to their houses or some bar or some wherever. It's weird.
Didn't they do the one award? I can't remember which one it was, but one of the award shows a few weeks back where some of the performers went into the theater when it was empty and did their performances ahead of time, and then they just played them on video.
Yeah, they might have. Yeah. So, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I never watch it. Whatever. So, new sitcom coming from Chuck Lorre. Be Positive. This is the boy from Silicon Valley's in that. I can't remember his name.
The main guy.
Hiddle. I don't know what the hell
Tom
his name.
Hiddleston or
Not
something.
Tom, yeah. Be Positive. Well, he needs a kidney, and the girl gives it to him. This is like another long line of terrible sitcoms from Chuck Lorre. Big Bang Theory, I'll give him a pass, but the rest of them are pretty bad. I'm not a fan. No, Charles?
I gotta tell you, I saw the preview for this looks awful. I don't know. I'm a no.
Yeah, his follow-up is this from Silicon Valley.
I'm a no for sure. I'm just no.
BV?
No, thanks.
I had the misfortune of kind of working late earlier this week and then going into the living room, and my wife was flipping channel, and she actually watched this pilot. It is god awful. Oh my god, it's horrible. No, absolutely not.
Is it worse than the Big Show show?
Oh, dude, I don't know.
Not quite. Although, granted, I only saw 10 to 15 minutes of the Big Show, and I did unfortunately see the entire episode of this Be Positive, and it's a freaking mess. So no.
Man. All right, now this one's for Charles. My Little Pony, Pony Life on Discovery Family. I know he's a big brony, so I'm a big no, Charles.
Those My Little Pony shows are terrible. Anyone who's into that as an adult needs to have their dick cut off or something because they're definitely touching kids. I'm a no. Super creepy.
Bill?
I'm not even going to try to explain. I mean, I think it's self-explanatory, but I am going to mention very quickly. Notre Dame drove down and right before the half just tried a very long field goal. And if not for the kicker making a saving tackle, you would have had your own version of Kick Six.
Oh, man. Now, finally, the CMA Awards are on ABC this week. We just talked about award shows. They're terrible, so I'm a no, Charles.
Is it Reba McEntire and Kelly Clarkson hosting this or something?
I don't know, probably.
This is a no. I hate country music.
They pull out Kelly Clarkson for everything. Yeah. And Bill, are you big into the CMAs?
I'm not big into any awards, but you lost me at country music, so no.
So now you can see how I'm really scraping.
Now you can see why I'm watching Succession.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a couple things later in the month that I saw, but no, it's going to be a rough month. All right, Charles, what's happening? Even this is kind of dry.
Well, we have much like BV's bets. We're a little off kilter. I had already talked about last week's UFC because we recorded on Sunday. So, but there's a big fight night tonight. No one's going to watch it because Notre Dame Clemson's on. I'll watch it later on in the week, and I'll have a full conversation next week with it. And then the big thing is next Friday from South Florida, BKFC 14. I'm not giving up on this, Steve. I love Bare Knuckle.
Are they going to fight with masks on?
No. Bare Knuckle doesn't give a shit about COVID. You crazy? I'll give it 2 shits. Bare Knuckle 14. Catch it on the BKFC app.
Well, at least they're in Florida now. They're not some weird Mississippi mud hole.
Yeah, they're going to be some weird random ass arena in Florida, though. So
cockfighting on Tuesday, Bare Knuckle on Saturday.
Love it, dude. So anyway, Friday. That's just real quick and dirty, but just watch the UFC on replay this week.
All right. So finally, we got some news coming up. Not a lot this week either. But the one I really like this news because I'm getting annoyed watching it on my browser on the tablet or my computer all the time.
You're the only one who gives a shit about this.
What do you mean?
You brought this up multiple times to me this week, and everything. No one cares about the Apple TV app. Only you do because you don't have an Apple device to watch it on. That's the only reason why you.
I
keep
do have
bringing it
I
up.
watch it on my damn iPad, but I hate that. I want to watch it on a big TV. Well, Apple TV app is coming to PlayStation and Xbox.
And it affects Pine Street, and that's all. Because anyone else who has this either watches it on his phone or I got a million Apple TVs and everything like that. No one cares.
Oh, watching on a tiny screen is so terrible.
I don't know. But the thing is, the problem is the Apple TV app is there's no content on it. So what are you watching on a little screen either?
Well, Michelle wants to see Greyhound, so I'll watch that again. That looks pretty good. So Apple TV coming to PlayStation and Xbox, presumably the same time for the new consoles. All right, so weird streaming right thing came up this week. Harry Potter was kicked off HBO Max because NBC Peacock proved they still had the rights. But they only had the rights up until the end of last week or something like that. So as of right now, Harry Potter is no streaming home. But most Potter fans, I believe, own the DVDs or Blu-rays or anyways. But I just thought that was funny that one of the biggest movie franchises in recent history cannot be streamed anywhere because of weird streaming rights right now. So HBO Max doesn't have it. Peacock doesn't have it.
Yeah,
and
but
of course,
let's ask the
Netflix
question.
Out of us, nobody's going to care.
No one was going to watch it either. I mean, that's the other thing, too. No one was like, oh, I was going to watch Order of the Phoenix tonight. You know what I mean?
You don't think around the holidays, people like Michelle
Well, you just saying Michelle is what you're saying.
Well, even Heather might watch it.
I don't give a shit if they can watch this. This series sucks. Harry Potter sucks. I don't care what Michelle and Heather tell you.
Well, I mean, a lot
You
of stuff.
should be watching the Star Wars series on Disney Plus.
No, I watch
Harry
it on
Potter
USA
sucks.
every year for some reason.
Yeah, well, I'm
It's
just
like I
telling
own all this and I'm watching it on
I
USA.
don't know, man. I don't give a shit about Harry Potter.
I
I
don't
don't give
know.
a
I
shit
just
about
thought that-
Johnny Depp either. Harry
Streaming-
Potter blows.
Streaming streaming rights just crack me up sometimes. On
They
stuff.
are very difficult.
Yeah, it is pretty fun.
As I watched The Wonder Years on Hulu. It's got weird music issues like the Dawson's Creek does.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, because they had a lot of like 60s and 70s music, right?
And a lot of like Joe Cocker's not even the theme song and stuff like that right now.
Bill keeps blinking out on his app. And all of a sudden he
I'm
disappears.
doing it on purpose now. I'm like, oh, that didn't work this time.
Oh, there he goes. It doesn't work every time, but all of a sudden he'll just randomly disappear. Now, this one I watched a couple episodes of the first season, and I was bored to tears with this. Castle Rock on Hulu. This is it's a Stephen King universe kind of show where they meld in a lot
It's
of
the ode to Stephen King crap. Yeah.
Well, it's done after the second season,
Which I'm a little shocked by.
yeah, because
Because
Hulu
Hulu just
a
doesn't
lot.
have the content to really be turning their nose up at anything, really. I don't know.
But I'm gonna assume not a lot of people watched, or the streaming, or the rights to do Stephen King stuff might cost them more than they
I don't know.
think they're making from the show.
I never watched it, never will. I know that much like you and your wife, my wife watched it. I don't want to see it. Sucks.
I watched the first episode. It was boring. I dozed off halfway through it.
Yeah.
And then I think we watched the second episode, and I was done. And then Michelle's like, "We ever gonna go back?" I'm like, "No, you can go back and watch it."
Feel free.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. All right, now this is the new consoles are launching in a couple weeks, as we all know. Sony announced that their PS5s you only get online. So if you buy it
No
online,
stores. Yeah, right.
you can get it from Best Buy online, but you can't go to the store at Best Buy and pick it up. Or you can get it at Amazon, stuff like that.
They're going to hide behind a COVID thing, I think, is what they were doing here, but it's really just limited amount of consoles. I think the COVID thing is what killed their manufacturing. So I don't think they have the numbers for it. Plus, they can probably strictly control what the actual inventory and sell-through is what I think is happening there.
Yeah. So
We talked about it already, and I mean, we can talk about it again at length. There's nothing to play on it. So great, you got a PS5. Now what?
you look at that giant shark fin.
Yeah, I don't mind the design of it. People are singing the praises of that controller too. I don't know. They went on and on the Bombcast about it. Every
I don't know
review's
what it
gone-
does.
maybe it's one of those things you get it in your hand, you'll be amazed by it. But again, cool controller notwithstanding, you need content. It's always the biggest thing, man.
Yeah. And then finally, because Charles don't care,
Oh, geez.
have you heard about Johnny Depp and his
Yeah, he
divorce?
lost like a whole thing about it being a wife beater.
Yeah, him and heard.
Did he drop out or was he forced out?
It's going to be
It's
what
mutual-
happens.
it's
It's going to happen to
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh.
Harbaugh,
Listen,
Johnny
buddy, you want to save face. Why don't you drop out of these
Oh,
movies?
man, they
Because you're about to
Harbaugh'd
be
him.
fired. They Harbaugh'd him, and Harbaugh's about to do the same thing.
Oh.
So that's all I have for the news this week. Johnny Depp is out of the Fantastic Beasts, which is kind of funny because he was the main villain. You probably haven't seen him. I've seen him.
I know Heather oddly didn't like him. She said as that Grindelwald or whatever it is, or I don't.
Well, did she didn't like him because she doesn't like Johnny Depp, or because
I don't know what it is. Who cares? It's Harry Potter. Harry Potter sucks. Watch Star Wars. Like, we've already covered this. I don't give a shit what Michelle says, what my own wife says. They're both wrong. The Star Wars universe is 50 times better than a Harry Potter bullshit. As I read more of those crappy books to my daughter and Hagrid's talking like a moron, those suck. All right? And they're very rudimentary and they're crappy, and Star Wars is better.
And the author is transphobic.
Yeah. And I'm into trans rights, and she's a
Yeah, 'cause
bitch.
you got to build a bathroom.
I got to build a bathroom. Joe Biden won. For Kamala Harris.
The Ugandan giant and Biden won.
Yeah.
So I got to go fucking make a bathroom. All right.
BV, you got a rant this week besides my rant of the fact that Harry Potter sucks. Come up with a rant, BV. What are you pissed about?
I'm not really pissed.
That's first of all, we all know that's bullshit. You're
He lives pissed. I got to rant about fucking COVID in the service lately.
Oh.
It's terrible.
What?
Every big business is using COVID as everything as an excuse for everything
We talked
to hand
about
you
it.
shitty ass service.
Yeah.
Drive-through lines are 45 minutes a pop. You call fucking customer service, you're on hold for hours now. I mean, it was never great before COVID, but it's twice.
But they got to build an excuse.
They
And
gotta
now
build-
you
Lines
go.
are you going through?
What?
45-minute drive-through lines?
They're jammed up.
Yeah, they're
the
terrible.
Taco Bell we had for dinner today, the drive-through line was wrapped around. The
It's
building.
everywhere here.
Yeah.
I've got a Taco Bell right around the corner from me, and there's never more than 3 or 4 cars.
Well, when you're in line, you better thank baby Jesus because they're fucking terrible.
I'm with
here.
Steve. So all these corporations, and we talked midweek about it. They're using COVID as a reason to cut their numbers and do all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're shady as shit. I agree completely.
Shit ain't stocked in
Yeah.
stores. But all of a sudden, COVID still hit. But I went to a Best Buy. Where was that? With Michelle somewhere. That store, they had pallet after pallet of fucking TVs in this place.
Oh wow.
You swear to God, it was like Crazy Earl's back of a truck
Oh,
somewhere.
wow.
So it's like, oh, we can't stock anything because we got COVID. Oh, Black Friday's coming up. Move in 47 pallets of TVs. It's like, screw off.
Yeah, I get you, man. But I also I'm struggling with, and me and you've kind of talked about it. I'm not a big drive-through person. I worked in fast food. You did as well. BV did as well. You know how messed up your order is through a drive-through. I'd rather take 2 minutes, walk in, ensure that my shit's in the bag, and walk my
Why
ass
at
back
this
to my
point
car.
can I not walk into a McDonald's / Taco Bell, place an order, don't sit down anywhere, wait for my order to be done, grab it and leave? Why
That's how
can't
I
I
do
do
Taco
that?
Bell today. I walk in, but
There's
you got to do
one-
it through a kiosk. You don't get to.
Yeah,
you
but
don't get to talk
McDonald's
to.
don't do that.
I don't eat at McDonald's that often. Taco Bell's what I eat like constantly. So you can
I don't
order
think it's
through
all.
the kiosk
Is it all Taco Bells?
that I've experienced. The three I
The one on
usually,
Annapolis and Telegraph?
correct. The one at Gully and Michigan Avenue, and then the one on the hill. You can go in, put it in the kiosk. There's no girl, but then like Chipotle, you have to app order, pick up, and go and stuff like that. Now
here's a question for you.
They're using it as an excuse.
Today I went to that arcade, right? Now it's like Dave and Buster's type deal. You got to get a card. You got to pay for a card. Usually it's a kiosk. You put your credit card in there, get a card, prints out. Can't use those kiosks because of COVID. Now, why could you use the kiosk at Taco Bell, but I can't use it at the arcade? Does that make any sense?
No.
And why can I go to Kroger's, shove my fucking card up that thing's ass and type in the buttons all the time or touch that screen self-serve? I can do that, but I can't touch the kiosk in the arcade.
Yeah, but here I guess it goes back to earlier conversations where each state's different, each business is different.
Yeah, it's so many stupid.
I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. Do we get a national mandate for masks in January?
We don't already have it?
No, that's the
Not
whole
a
big
national,
thing.
no.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think so.
BV doesn't think so. I think we will for sure. No doubt in my mind.
Every place I go, even that mall today, everyone had masks. I saw very, very few
Well,
people.
and I had this conversation at work.
Unless I'm
today.
at a Trump rally, I don't see a lot of people.
Well, I think that we are skewed. We live in well-populated, one might call them liberal areas, that if you might get out into a Walmart, let's say in, I don't know, Durand, Michigan, there might be someone who doesn't wear a mask.
Why would you pick that city of all cities?
I'm just saying, like, the further you get away from liberal city centers, that those rules get lessened. Because that was my whole take, and someone I worked with had this point, and they're like, yeah, but we're here, we're in a city, you know what I mean? But once you get out into, like, the stick areas, when you get, I don't know, very Republican, you know, and they don't think it's a real thing. So, I don't know.
Well, we've had, we had, you know, because the majority of the counties around here now have gone back to no indoor dining and whatnot. And there are a number of restaurants that are just now starting to openly defy the rule because they're saying that they can't stay in business otherwise.
No indoor dining in Chicago or Illinois right now?
Well, it's not all counties. No, because there's been a spike. So not the entire state, but it's on a county by county basis. And right now, the counties that are kind of surrounding Chicago, a good portion of them are backed up to where there's no indoor dining.
Do you feel comfortable dining in at a restaurant right now, BV?
I have I did dine in for lunch, but it was like an outdoor patio with open air. If there's open air, I'm comfortable. But not particularly inside right now. It's COVID. Like they're up to like 10% positives at this point.
Would you feel safe getting a lap dance from a dirty stripper?
No.
Oh,
I would not.
It's all right.
Would you?
I'm getting that vaccine.
What if she was wearing a mask?
I'm getting that vaccine trial coming my
Charles
way.
got a vaccine, so he can go to the
Signed
strip
up
club.
today, baby. I'm ready to go.
How did you? Was that because of your job or?
No, I learned it from the local news at Steve's house, the Henry Ford Health System.
So you rip at Michelle you want.
I
You
know,
learned
and
something.
I learned something. I was today years old or whatever. The Henry Ford Health System downtown is running the Johnson & Johnson controlled trials, and if you can justify it, which I've got hypertension, sleep apnea, and I'm an essential worker, so I checked a lot of boxes. I was like, all right, cool. But the problem is I'm just a white guy. It sounds like they want minorities, so we'll see. I checked Hispanic because that's how I identify.
You just get a lot of spray tan.
I can't wait. I want to get juiced up, man. I cannot
You get
wait.
a third nipple.
I don't give a shit. Give me that extra nip. I want the world to get back to normal.
You're gonna grow a hunchback.
I'm not afraid.
You just want
of
to be
sun.
immune like Trump.
like Trump. Shut up.
You and Trump are
No,
immune.
I believe in science like Joe Biden, the guy that just won the presidency.
You want to be immune so you can go into any fast food joint.
Are we going to do anything special for the 50th president? Is there like a anniversary diamond ring that the 50th
You're
president
the
gets?
50th president.
Yeah.
You win. No. He gets a free segment on Trump TV.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Biden's what, 46?
Yeah, I think they said 46 today. So, yeah.
We'll get to see the 50th in our lifetime.
Anyway, let's go watch Clemson Notre Dame. We can hang out with
Yeah.
BV and watch a little bit of the game here.
And as usual, check us out on Apple, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. I did check us on Spotify today. I was trying out
We were with Joe Rogan.
I trying out the new ear pods.
Are we on Rogan's channel?
No, we're not. But I typed in the search "fat guys on" and we showed right up. I didn't even finish the sentence. So I did test that because I was like, I tell
Where's
people
our check? I don't understand.
blue check. Do they have blue? Oh, you mean money check?
Yeah.
Well, I was the only guy that ever clicked on it. So there you go. But we are on Spotify, so please check us out. Of course, fatguyslittlepodcast.com. And Charles works very hard on the YouTube channel, so please see that.
Post this VGO.
Yeah, and of course here on Facebook with you can catch us with the Talking Real Estate guy and the Fat Joker. And all those other people. So until next week, this is Steve.
And Charles.
And catch you next time.